Hey, this game goes hard, so you've been warned.
For a while, you were obsessed with the idea of a specific love. Not the type that was advertised in romance books or romantic movies. Not the type that grows together, that supports each other. The type that others envy. You wanted the type that corrodes and suffocates. The type that held on to you, clinging, begging to be loved. Who could only think about you, to only have you, whatever costs. You had dated countless people to find that love, all failures. It was never enough, and it would never be enough. You discarded them all aside and decided, if no one could give you the love you craved, then you would create someone who could. Wouldn't that be fun? My name is Lion. Is that so? Well then, let's begin. You remember when you first met him, the person who you would create the perfect love from. College life was dull as normal. Classes, to studying, to group calls. While walking aimlessly, you heard the cries of a poor individual. A student in the corner, mercilessly taunting and beating up a poor victim. Despite already graduating into college, it seems some students still kept their bullying habits from high school. Please, I completed the assignment like you said. Why are you? Come on, Milo. You know why it has to be like this. Who was the one who tried to put out us to the profs? We're the only ones who even tolerate you, you know. We're your only friends. And friends? Well, they don't just snitch on other friends. I swear, I didn't. It wasn't. What a sad sight to see. You almost felt bad. Almost. You walked up to them casually. Move, you're causing a disturbance. What are you? Turning to you, flinches visibly, shrinking away in fear. I... Did you hear me? I didn't think... Leave. You could almost hear him whimper as he ran away, his tail between his legs. Gracefully, you walked to the victim, pulling him up by the arm. Thank you. He stumbles forward and leans on you before scrambling and adjusting himself. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Those friends of yours are rather cruel, aren't they? He looks up at you for a bit, startled. Well, I can't blame them. I transferred only a bit ago and I'm still not used to being in such a new area. They took me in when I had nobody. Why would you go with them? God, these guys are obviously losers. So whether I like them or not, it's better than being alone. Especially since my family is so far away. He looks up at you with resolve. But you were able to scare them away so easily. How did you? It's pretty simple, really. They don't want to take part in any of my shenanigans. They don't want to be the object of my affection. And God knows my affection is just so raw. It's just so intense. Wouldn't you like to be my next victim? Love interest? Would you like to be a pal of mine? They know not to mess with me. You need to know how to speak their language. That's all. Speak their language. He hesitates, biting his nails a bit. God, you remind me of a guy I knew in high school. Why did you save me? You did it because you felt sorry for me, right? I mean, I get it. It's just, we're in some of the same classes, right? You just want me to do your homework, so I understand. I did it because I was worried about you. I don't care about making you do my homework. Worried? About me? Of course. Who wouldn't be worried about someone being bullied? Well, it seems at least I did. Milo seems silent at first, but eventually speaks up. This may be a bit presumptuous, but could you Could you teach me how to stand up for myself like you did? You look at him, your gaze not wavering. Milo changed. You transferred only last year, correct? I believe you're taking kinesiology, and you've got some pretty impressive grades. How did you know that? I keep an eye on things that have my interest. If I had known you were being bullied, I would have stepped in sooner. Milo turns a shade of pink after hearing that you had an interest in him. It was hard not to keep an eye on him. He always glanced at you whenever you passed him by. We had some of the same classes after all. You could always feel him watching, even when you weren't looking at him. Lonely, has a crush on you, isolated from his family and others like him. Meek and obedient. Perfect. You want me to teach you? If you could. Alright, I don't mind. On one condition. You reach out your hand, expectantly. Date me. He's so shocked that he nearly falls over. You can't help but smile. God, oh, I love him. He's so pathetic. God, I am going to ruin this man. What? Date? But He laughs awkwardly. Of course, you just want to mess around with me, right? That's very funny. Since there's no way that you would actually date me. Don't say stuff like that. It sounds like you're already rejecting me. Especially since you're quite the catch. Milo turns beet red, unable to speak for a second. A date? But we just met, and I don't know if I'm ready for... Milo, calm down, alright? The only way to get to know someone more personally is if you date them. Think of it as a test run. How can you know if you don't try, right? I guess that's true. I think I'd like to date someone I could spend my life with. It's kind of cheesy when I say it out loud. How perfect. I feel the same. I would only date someone I could depend on for all my life. So then, let's make it count, shall we? You hold out your hand again, and he tenderly holds it. You won't betray me, right? It's just that people in the past would jokingly... Why would I do such a cruel thing, Milo? Can't you just trust me? The one who saved you? His face looks up with a bit of surprise. Saved me. That's right. So then, from now on, I am your lover. Please, treat me well. My lover. He smiles nervously and taps his feet happily. I've never had someone like that. So, I'm not sure what to expect. What kinds of things should I do with my lover? How about we come up with a nickname for each other? Nickname? Yeah, well, what do you think would be a good nickname? Let's see. How about my... Wait, nickname for him? For me? Nickname for who? Oh, okay. I guess... You know what? Let's not think about whose nickname this is gonna be. My dearest. My dearest. Oh, that nickname is... Well, I don't mind it too much. I'm glad you like it. Despite any possible complaints, you could see that he enjoyed being gifted a nickname. My dearest. My dearest. I feel so special. My dearest. It feels nice to be special, doesn't it? Well then, my dearest. My classes are starting soon. Oh, so soon? I'll miss you. Clingy. Sorry, I didn't mean... It's alright. I think it's very cute, my dearest. Don't try to dance around me. I am your lover, after all. I will accept all of you, so long as you do the same. Do you accept all that I am? Yes, of course I do. Good. That makes me happy. You walk a few steps before stopping. Before I do, shall we set a time for a date? A date? So soon? No need to fret, my dearest. It's just a way for us to get to know each other better. And so I can teach you how to stand up for yourself. Meet me at the split path at 7 p.m. and we can go somewhere fun together. I have a couple of good places. Okay, split path. Don't be late, Milo. As you walked away, you could feel Milo's gaze boring in on you, watching as you left him behind. The start of an obsession. At 7 p.m., you come to the split path and see Milo pacing about. Okay, be courteous and on time. Compliment them and don't forget to... Milo. Ah! Jumping, Milo fumbles the flowers that he brought with him. You brought flowers too? I feel bad. I should have brought something as well. No need. I just thought, I wanted to get something as beautiful as my lover. What a charmer. You almost feel bad for what you're going to do with him. Almost. Thank you for the flowers. I'll try to give you something later tonight in return. Although the flowers might not be suitable for what we'll be doing. Oh, really? I'm sorry, There's no need to blame yourself. I never told you what we were going to do after all. I'll keep them safe in my bag for now. Taking the flowers, you carefully place them in your bag. Where should we go then? Maybe we should get to know each other? I actually really enjoy sewing. Maybe later. There's more important things to attend to. There's actually 2 places we can go, also drastically different. The first place is the battling range. It might be nice to exercise a bit. Your perfect love needs to be strong, not just in strength, but in rage. To watch him crush your enemies, to gain your love, to watch him use force to get what he pleases. A devotion with violence is an important asset. I'm sure he has some rage after being bullied for so long. The second is a party on the other end. Might be nice to socialize with others, to get them on our side. A perfect place to teach him how to manipulate others. A perfect love with the power to sway those around him, to do his bidding for him. A silver tongue and charismatic act. Sometimes the only way to fight fire is with fire itself. They both sound so interesting. Also, I think you would know better. You can decide. Whatever you say, my dearest. Then, let's head to the... God damn, I can only choose one, so let's go for battling cages. Oh, but party would be interesting. Ooh, party. Party? Party. Let's go to the party. I think it's time for you to find some new friends. Parties are a fun way to get to know people. Oh, I don't know about that. I've never been good at parties. It's a college rite of passage, and I'll be there with you. Don't worry. You can trust me. We are dating for life, aren't we? Milo's face warms up. I can almost hear his heartbeat from here. For life? Well, yeah, but saying it out loud is... You chuckle a bit. What a pure boy. Come on, my dearest. Let's head to the venue. I promise. It will be worthwhile. We arrive in a venue, the lights flashing and the music blaring. Amongst the crowd, you see a red-haired girl dancing. Ah, Holly is here, huh? You smile. This couldn't be more perfect. Milo seems to flinch at all the stimulation he faces suddenly. Honestly, same. Why did I bring us here? Why was this my idea? Why did I choose this? Shh. It's okay. Let's head somewhere a bit more quiet. Take his hand. You bring him to the back where the tables are. Here goes the first part of the process. Milo, could you do something for me? Uh, what is it? If it's anything to do with bugs, I don't know if I can. It's nothing like that, my dearest. Soon you will meet some friends of mine. Oh, that sounds nice. It sure will be. There will be a point in the conversation where I'll ask you to agree with me. You won't know what I'm talking about, but I'll need you to play along. All right, my dearest? Milo seems to hesitate a bit before nodding. Okay, I'm sure whatever it is you're making me to agree to is... Don't worry, it's, let's say, a way for you to learn. You smile slightly to reassure him. It seems to only worry him more. Actually, I wanted to give you something for our first date. You pulled out some clip-on earrings for him. Wow, I've always wanted to try these. If you wear them now, we'll match. You point to the ones dangling on your ear. I'll put it on right away. He clips it on eagerly and smiles giddily. Does it look good? Everything looks good on you, my dear. With that, you and Milo hurried to meet your friends. Yo, you finally made it! Was wondering if you were gonna bail on us. A girl with brown hair and what looked to be a grass skirt was waving to us frantically. Valley, what do you mean by bail on you? I would never do that. Sure, like you didn't do that the last time. She huffs dramatically, before seeing Milo hiding behind you. Oh, is that your new boy toy? Cute. It's been a while. How long is this going to last? A month? 6? My name is Milo. It's nice to meet you. Vali, I'm sure you of all people know it's not good to talk about how long a partner is going to last. Besides, you cling onto his arm and you can feel Milo fidgeting and his body heating up again. Milo is going to be my future husband. Isn't that right, my dearest? Yeah, that's right, my dearest. My dearest is my lover. Aw, he seems like... a bit different from the other ones you've dated. Don't you usually date more, scary people? No offense. So maybe you're right. I hope that you two have a long happiness together. She puts up her cups to cheer to a new relationship. Oh, I forgot to introduce the rest of the gang. Silly me. The short one is Desmond. He's got a nasty temper. And I'm going to ruin you if you call me short again, Valley. Like I said, nasty. Still, it looks like you actually chose a decent person to date this time. Thank you? Let's not try to disappoint her. I am just realizing how short Desmond is. Oh my god. He is such a short king. I love him. I'm not really fond of troublemakers. I'll take note. Finally, there's Seth. Seth, could you stop reading for a second? Do you have an interest in monsters of lore? The answer is still no, Seth. But yes! I do! I love monsters in more ways than one, in many ways, and I'm pretty sure my audience can tell you all the ways I love monsters and then some. But then again, there's some bits which might not be best described on the internet. He grumbles, going back to his book. But then again, considering that Wattpad, an archive of our own, and fanfiction.net exists, it's way out there, like all the different ways you can actually love a monster. Goddamn. Alright. He grumbles, going back to his book. I would be interested... Really? Do you know about the monster of the forest? I heard that they kill innocents and are trying to get out. Of the forest? Oh, that's... He hesitates, but ultimately grips onto your arm strongly. He's not that interested, Seth. After all, the only thing Seth cares about is being killed by a monster that doesn't exist. You sure it's about being killed by the monster and not other ways of loving monsters? They exist. How do you explain the idea that everyone that goes in never comes out? I don't know, maybe they all just fall into a pit or something, Seth, or like some animal ate them, Seth, or like, some people, like, the forest is huge. It is so big, and some people when they panic, they just, they keep going in a direction that doesn't even make any remote sense. So perhaps they're just lost somewhere and they're just decaying somewhere. And I am absolutely sorry for anyone who's actually known someone who got lost in the forest. I am just so sorry about that. He grimaces, clearly annoyed at your lack of faith. My guy! Like, the forest is a horrifying place enough, even without monsters of lore. It makes it so much more interesting. I love a good monster story. I love a good folktale. But still, the forest alone is horrifying enough. Okay? Well, it's nice meeting you, Seth. Likewise. The conversation starts weaving and interconnecting, bouncing from topic to topic. Insects are the grossest, aren't they? What do they need so many legs for? And you are the one going on about how much you love monsters, but you say no to insects? Understandable. I feel the same way, Seth. God damn, like, we got quite a bit in common, so I'm pretty sure we won't get along. The way they move is so... Ugh. Milo shudders, imagining an insect crawling around. Speaking of insects, I think that she is here in the venue today. I saw her red hair the second I stepped in here. Valley grimaces when she mentions her, and the other two look away, not wanting to pry. I feel like this is a bad question, but, Holly, Valley and her used to date, but they haven't been on good terms. That's saying it lightly. She's the one who betrayed me, got me kicked out of my last university. And for what? Weren't you stealing data from the school? The point is, she screwed me over. Should have kept her mouth shut. Speaking of which... Well... Come on, tell me. Don't bail out on information. You smile, feeding on Valley's love of gossip. I think Milo saw her yesterday giving a USB to someone. Based on his description, it sounds like he had a picture of a hula girl on it. What? She took the USB that got me kicked out and then tried to sell it to someone? Luckily, it seems like the deal didn't go well and she still had it on her. Isn't that right, Milo? All eyes turn on him, and you can feel the panic from here. Lion, what are you... Remember what you told me, Milo? You are supposed to agree with me. That you saw a girl with red hair and a green skirt trying to give that USB to someone? Remember what you promised? He hesitates, but he seems to remember what you told him earlier. Earth to Milo. Now that I think about it, I did see a red-haired girl try to give a USB to someone, but I didn't know that was yours, so I... It's okay, Milo. There's no way you could have known. I did think you deserved to know the truth, Valley. I mean, Holly did such awful things to you, and... Oh, now? What a hypocrite. I was angry too when I saw her downstairs. Looking at Valley, it was obvious that she was beyond anger. She threw her chair aside and marched down the stairs. You mother! Argument started immediately, along with screaming and the sounds of glass breaking. Both Desmond and Seth ran down to try to calm her down, and Milo tried to as well, but you stopped him. What? Milo, let's not deal with that mess right now, shall we? But what about... Don't worry, they can take care of it. As the fight below continued, you brought him down to the hall to talk. That turned out well. It turned out even better than expected, to be honest. It took a while to plant that USB, but it's worth it to get Milo exactly where you wanted him. Not to question you or anything, but why did you make me lie about that? I mean, if you didn't bring that up, Valley wouldn't be fighting, and isn't it wrong to spread rumors like that? Is it really rumors if it's the truth? Valley has been making excuses left and right to excuse Holly's behavior towards her. No matter how much she yammers about how much she hates her, she's always had a soft spot for her. Angry about kicking her out, but never confronting her about it? Tragic. If it weren't for this, she would never have been able to snap out of it. But doing like this is... Sometimes to get people to understand, we have to use unorthodox methods. He turns quiet, not knowing what to say. Towards people we like, towards people we hate. In the end, it doesn't really matter how we get there. It's the results that matter. He pat Milo's shoulder reassuringly. You did well, Milo. I'm proud of you. The best way to use information is for your own benefit, right? To yours and those you care about. Or to destroy someone, like that bully of yours. The only way to fight fire sometimes is with fire. I mean, it'll never stop coming after you, you know? It's not wrong to protect yourself from people in this matter. He deserves it, doesn't he? Milo stops for a second, contemplative, then looks up at you with resolve. Please teach me, my dearest. You smile. This is really turning out better than you planned. For a while, it was our favorite thing to do together. We hung out with different people, learning about them, watching how they interact with each other. Enough to build trust, enough to be let inside. And then destroy them under the guise of helping. We pitted people against each other and watched as they ruined themselves. We sowed conflict where there hadn't been any. You and Milo were always together, the two lovebirds that flew from wire to wire. Milo changed as well. He dressed more cleanly, talked more sweetly. He could always get in and out of conversations in a pinch. He was learning how to use information as a weapon. All was well for a while, at least until... Desmond had brought Milo over to the side to talk to him. He felt tense, worried that Desmond might undo all the hard work you did. So you decided to look for them. Walk around the venue, you hear Desmond's voice in an empty hall. You're a good guy, Milo. I could tell from the first moment we talked, but lately it feels like Lion has been leading you down the wrong path. It was just as you thought. Desmond was meddling in others' affairs again. Out of your friends, he had probably one of the stronger moral compasses. Always trying to do what's right. It was irritating. But jumping in now would be... You decided to continue listening. Why, how could you say something like that about them? Without them, that would be... Listen, it's just that Lion is the type who'll get what they want, no matter what. Whatever methods have to be used, whoever needs to be sacrificed. A person whose ends justified the means. What would they want from me then? Desmond is silent, seeming to hesitate. I'm not sure. I doubt my dearest would do such a thing. Although he sounds confident, you can feel his hesitation. Listen, I can't control what you do, but I think you should. Suddenly, it's quiet. You must be whispering something to him. Ugh, that wasn't supposed to happen. He walked towards them, as if looking for Milo, interrupting them. And what are you two whispering about? Lion! Oh, how long have you been there? I was just trying to find Milo since you guys were talking for so long. Why? Were you saying something I wasn't supposed to hear? Desmond looks away awkwardly, as if he's been caught. It's nothing, my dears. He just had some questions for one of our classes. I'm going to get going now. Before I could do anything, he scurries away like the rat he is. You turn to Milo, who seems to gaze at you intently. What did he really say to you, Milo? You aren't trying to... His voice trails off before smiling a bit. There's no way you are. You're perfect as is. You're not sure what to say. You feel like trying to pry will cause him to doubt you more. You can't have this one fail on you. Not when you've put so much effort into shaping him. Before he can say anything, Milo pulls you by the hand back to the group. Before long, it seemed that Milo was avoiding... What? Whenever you called out to him or saw him walking around campus, he would run away. He started to jump group to group to avoid you. Yet surprisingly, it didn't seem that he decided to end your relationship. Excuse me? You couldn't even give me a proper goodbye? Either way, whatever that rat said to him seemed to have worked. Are you two having a fight? Did something happen? It's nothing. It's just a silly disagreement. How annoying. If that's going to be the case, why not use it to your advantage? You were able to corner Desmond after class one day. What do you want? I have extra credit work I have to do today. It's obvious he wanted to run, but he refused to let this mouse free. I just wanted to talk about Iya, and well, she might be in big trouble this time. His face twitched in worry. He hesitates, not sure if he wants to take the bait. Fine, but make it quick. You end up dragging him into an empty lecture hall. He seems extremely paranoid as he comes in. What's going on with my girlfriend? Let me guess, she ended up fistfighting the professor again. Is that something that happened often? Whatever, doesn't matter. Here, I just want you to look at this. You showed him something on your phone, and his eyes go wide with fear. Then anger. What do you want? We're finally getting somewhere. Let's clean up this mess that he started. Amongst the crowd of people, you see Milo in the center of it all. The Gaspers, a perfect place to gain information. They laugh as he jokes around. Everyone's eyes are on him, just as you had taught him. So somehow I ended up putting the lyrics in the paper, and it still gave me full marks. They all laugh before Desmond walks into the crowd with a grimace look on his face. Oh hey Desmond, what are you? The sentence is cut off when he sees who Desmond brought with him. Sorry, Milo. He forced me to. The man that had been torturing him stands before him, his face smiling with sadistic glee. Ryan? Milo's charismatic facade drops. He turns back to the bully victim from before. Well, well, look who it is. He walks closer to Milo as he shirks away. My old friend. It's been a while. Ryan, what do you want? What do I want? Just want to hang out with my old friend is all. You know, after you abandoned us, I was really heartbroken, you know? I thought we bonded in our time together. But I understand. I mean, I'm surprised you're friends with so many people. Especially since you used to be quite the stalker in the day. Milo's face is pale. He panics as the other members whisper among themselves. No, it wasn't. Milo the stalker. I heard you followed that person around for how many days? And you even took a pair of their gym clothes. What were you doing with them, you perv? Disgusting. They made me do it. They peer pressured me and... Seriously, though. Does Lion know about this? Did you tell them? Were you so afraid they'd break up with you immediately? Can you imagine their face when they find out the lovely, cute Milo is a filthy pervert? Milo is at a loss for what to say. He curls up into a ball. Please, just stop. Don't act like that. I heard you've been avoiding your lover. There's no way they'd come to save. Come to save who now? All eyes turn to you as you walk in, unfazed by Ryan's words. Ryan looks at you, clearly unimpressed. Oh, look at that. Your dearest has come to save you. Did you feel pity for this guy after we broke up? That's pathetic, even for you. It's not like I expected anything from you in the first place. You've always been so whiny, clingy, disgusting. Oh, was that just me? Ryan stiffens at your words. From what I recall, you were the one begging on the floor.
What? That was stupid! Why would I?
I will be careful about those next words you say, Ryan. It would be terrible if everyone knew about that. Ryan goes silent. You can feel his eyes darting from place to place. As for Milo, even if he did stalk some poor bastard in his past, what excuse do you have to talk down to him? As if you all are so pure-hearted and innocent. In fact, you turn to the rest of them. I know exactly the kinds of skeletons you all keep in your closets. The group looks around nervously, their faces filled with paranoia. So then, let's keep this conversation between us, alright? You turn to Ryan, and as you touch his shoulder, he flinches. Let's try not to stir up any more trouble, okay? His eyes dart around, but eventually, Ryan walks away without a word. The group disperses, awkwardly trying to guard their own secrets, and you're left alone with Milo. Why did you come to save me? Well, I couldn't let my boyfriend be trampled upon now, could I? Even if he's been avoiding me for a while. He freezes at your words, but you pat his head and reassure him. You know, I was really worried that I'd done something wrong. And I really missed you. The fact that my dearest wouldn't even glance at me made my heart sink. Desmond told me to avoid you for a while. But I shouldn't have trusted him. I didn't know... Shh. It's okay, my dearest. I forgive you. People out there may always betray you, but always come to save you. You'll do the same, right? You're the only person I can trust. Yeah. From now on, I'll only trust you. You smile at his remark. We're back on track. Desmond was meeting up with you at the split paths. Look, I brought Ryan like you told me to, so we're even now, right? You pull out your phone and delete the picture in front of him. There. All gone. Desmond looks relieved at the picture gone. Thank goodness. If Ia found out. He really is naive. As if you didn't have a bunch of backups. Luckily, you made it just in time. You won't let Milo escape. You really are horrible, you know. Everyone's going to find out how horrible... Oh? Are you sure about that? This secret was only the tip of the iceberg. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Besides, I did you a favor. It's better not to make your girlfriend into an ex, right? I know the history you had in high school. Desmond seems to panic at the thought of it being exposed. I don't understand why you're doing all this. Manipulating him into depending on you for... to this degree? Why would you do that? Everyone has a love they want, right? Some people are willing to settle with less, but I'm not the kind of person. That's all there is to it. Let's not try to do that again, Desmond. Believe me. I'll make your life a living nightmare if you pull something like that again. Before he can ask anything else, you walk away from him, satisfied. What has Milo got himself into? For a while, it seemed as if everything had died down. The drama that occurred that day circulated for a bit, but it was quickly shut down. After all, how could kind, charismatic Milo ever do such a thing? Similarly, Desmond disappeared for a bit. Perhaps he was afraid of what happened. Perhaps he was afraid of you. Ryan had to, after his public scolding, get away from the public eye. Ever since, Milo would never hesitate to praise you, to defend you, because to him, you were his everything. You had saved him once again. And so, days went on as normal. Schoolwork, fun activities, some dates. Well, at least until one of the big projects for your class. It seems Ryan has appeared again, and he is my partner for the big project. Milo fiddles with his earring a bit. While outwardly he looks uninterested, you can tell he's thinking deeply about something. Well, it's too bad we can't get any dirt on him, huh? I'm sure I could find something that would destroy him for good. He smiles sideways, his eyes deep with vengeance. I mean, it seems you know what to say to make him stutter. Sure I do, but it won't stop him from coming after you for that long. And I like to have some surprises up my sleeves as well. That's a bit boring, my dearest. As much as I love to destroy him in that way, my dearest, I would like to actually pass this class, and this project is a huge part of my grade. Let's hold off on it now, alright? Milo makes a slight sound with his mouth. But that's no fun, my dearest. Can't we rattle him up just a bit? If I can't get this project done, then I won't be staying at this university anymore. Ryan's such a buzzkill. He's really hoping to scar what's left of his ego of his. I know you'd like to see him crumble too. Of course, I would love nothing more than to see him writhe. However, we're supposed to be meeting up in Cafe 15 to talk about what we're going to do. And I'd like you to come with, just in case. Well, who knows if he'll pull something. He grins a little too wide, a little too happy at the situation. We are destined to be together. Isn't that right, Lion? You don't have a choice but to love me. The response sends shivers down your spine. You've trained him a little too well. As we walked in, we see Ryan sitting at one of the booths. His face twists from contempt to annoyance when he sees that Milo has entered with you. Strange. He's not in our group, is he? Milo and I are a package deal. Or are you jealous that we've suddenly become the third wheel? Ryan looks like he's going to cause a scene, but Milo leans back casually. He strokes your hair and looks at him tauntingly. Were you going to do something to my lovely lion? Ryan grits his teeth and sits back. Whatever, let's just hurry up and get this project finished. For the next couple of hours, you and Ryan planned out your project. The two of you ordered some food and drinks, seemingly chatting nonchalantly about what to do. But underneath it all, it felt like you were pointing knives at each other's throats. Well, it's not as if this wasn't a whirl we weren't used to, battling with words. Milo would scroll through his phone nonchalantly as we talked with each other. I felt as if part of him was always watching. As if finding a perfect moment of weakness. Scribbling down Ryan's ramblings, your spoon slipped and fell onto the ground. I'll get it for you, my dearest. He ducks under the table and searches for a bit, before placing the pen on the table and lifting his head. Your spoon, my wonderful lover. He looks at Ryan, smirks condescendingly. Ugh, this lovey-dovey crap makes me want to barf. His hand taps on the table a bit before looking at his phone. His eyes dart around for a second before standing. Well, I get a jet. See you losers later. Grabbing his backpack, he leaves the two of you alone. Finally. You chuck down the glass of water after he leaves and slam it on a table. Somehow it tastes bitter, like your disgust for him. He didn't pay for his portion of the bill, that lowlife. I'm tracking him right now. He's not that far. In fact, we might get some more money out of him with these pictures I found. Fun, but let's save that for later. He might find out you've been tracking him and he might turn off his location. Sighing, you fork over the money and you and Milo head back. Let's walk back to the dorms. I have to get some stuff before next class. Milo smiles and holds your hand as you walk. But as you walk, something doesn't feel right. You start to falter, your legs feeling weak and... My dearest? Everything goes dark. You wake up, staring at the ceiling of your dorm, laying on the bed. Milo is stroking your hair gently as you sleep. My dearest, you'll be okay, right? You look so peaceful sleeping. I wish I could look at you for an eternity. You touch his hair, and he looks at you, his eyes wide with shock. He hugs you suddenly, clinging onto you. You're okay! His arms tighten, as if ever afraid to let you go. My dearest, what happened? You passed out suddenly after we left the cafe. Did I now? You recall Ryan tapping his fingers against the table. His eyes were darting at the glass. I see what happened. The snake really has it out for me, huh? Wow, how totally unexpected. I knew he was up to something. He grits his teeth, and I could hear them grind against each other. Now, my dearest, you'll hurt yourself that way. You caress his head, and he leans into your hand. Cute. It seems that Ryan must have drugged me. Must have been the water. Dropping my spoon was the perfect opportunity for him to do so. How oddly clever for him. Should have been me! I should have been the one who was drugged. He clenches onto the bed sheets, and his grip causes him to shake. Disgusting. He really doesn't know how to leave it alone, huh? Well, he should be given a taste of his own medicine. You tap your forehead as you think. What would make Ryan suffer more? Drugging him would be ample payback. You do have access to the chemistry lab. Watching Ryan shudder as his body collapses on himself, as he did to you, would be entertaining. Or maybe he might have other secrets he's hiding. You might see it coming if we attempt to drug him back. Perhaps Milo's past of stalking might be a benefit to us after all. Choices. Milo looks at you eagerly as you make your decision. The best way to get payback is to drug him back, will be to stalk him. I'm gonna save here. Is to drug him back. No, will be to stalk him. He will catch us too easily. Stalking is the way to go. Stalking him? Well, stalking is more something I did in the past. And isn't that perfect, my dearest? You already have experience. This time, it's for a different purpose, though. Quite a noble one. Wouldn't it be great to get some vengeance for me? He beams, happy that he's being useful. Of course, my dearest. I won't fail you. He smiles with an unsettling look in his eyes. You walk around your dorm trying to look for what you might need for this endeavor. You think carefully about what you would need to stalk Ryan. Cameras, darker clothing. Are we stalk him in person? I've already been following him everywhere online. Turns out he's quite infamous. Makes me wonder how he dates at all. Is that a jab on me? Of course not, my dearest. He must have begged you to date him. I can't accept it any other way. His eyes flash a dangerous expression before settling back to his generally happy facade. I hope you haven't been keeping tabs on me as well. Well, if you had, it's not as if I wouldn't mind. He laughs a bit, if only dryly. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. Who's to say? He's so much better at hiding his true intentions now. You are pleased at the result of this notion. But we'd have to be a bit more hidden. So I got these. You pulled out some matching hats that you've gotten. I think you will look good in them. A gift for me, my dearest. I'm so happy. He tries to play cool, but you can see that his cheeks have reddened quite a bit. It was hard finding something nice for you to hide in. After all, you look good in everything. For a moment, he seems caught off guard, his eyes widening a bit, before immediately going back to his normal smile. He puts on the hat and happily looks at you. If that's the case, I don't mind you choosing all my clothes. I want to be everything that you want me to be. Anything that will make you happy. His breathing seemed to be hitched, as if he was imagining being adorned by you. Maybe after we're finished. So then, how about we enact some revenge? It's what I've been waiting for. I can't wait. Good. Let's get started. For a while, we followed Ryan around, secretly, and with gentle steps. Enough that he would never know that it was us. but obvious enough to know that someone was watching him. At first, it wasn't anything. Harmless, in fact. We watched him, but never did anything to him. But Milo had other plans. Online, he talked about his experience of Ryan bullying him and how it affected him, and it spread like wildfire. The amount of videos and comments defending poor, innocent Milo, and antagonizing, brutish, awful Ryan. Milo really knew how to play a crowd, it seemed. But it wasn't just that. Milo would call him over and over again, taunting him, threatening him in a soft manner, but nonetheless terrifying. Ryan, do you remember when you threw a brick at my head and had a concussion for a week? Do you think I could do something similar to you? I have a rock that I think would fit perfectly in your head. I hope you're not thinking of leaving your dorm today to hang out with your friends. It would be terrible if someone burned up your new couch while you were gone. Maybe it would be better if you simply died and were reborn another person. I'm sure the world would be happier for it. Milo's words were simply the drops of water that caused the ripples. Soon, there were others that tried to threaten him through texts, calls, anything. He made others do the dirty work for him. How clever. Sadly, it made it hard for you two to do your projects together. In fact, it almost seemed as if you were the last of his more positive interactions. Ryan, you doing alright? I heard that Milo posted a pretty damning video. Well, not that you were all that kind to him before. I just wanted to stop. No one will look at me anymore. No matter how much I block or change my number, they always find me. How long do I have to live like this? I don't. He was practically on the verge of crying, the way he shook when he was talking. Please, just make Milo stop! Anything! I'll do anything. Anything? Anything at all. The thought of it made you smile. Alright. Milo has been out of control lately. I can't promise I can make it go away completely. I will try to. You have my word. Upon hearing this, his shaking finally stopped. Please. Please. Let's do well on our project together. Alright? Milo, as it seemed, never took his eyes off of you either. It seemed that he would always bump into you at random times and acted as if it were a coincidence. Even when you went to places you would normally never go, he would always find himself there. He always knew where you were, always followed you. Even in the dorms, you start to notice that things were a bit off. Items were slightly shifted in ways you didn't remember. Things that you had for a long time suddenly looked newer, as if someone were replacing them, one by one. Perhaps you were being paranoid, but you were losing things, and quite quickly at that. If you were a bit more oblivious, you could have convinced yourself you were just being clumsy. You always asked Milo if he knew where you'd left things, and he would laugh and hand you an exact copy. He always seemed to have exactly what you needed. Ah, did you lose your textbook? You're so clumsy. It's cute. Here, I bought you another one. Oh dear, did you find your stuffed animal ripped? I did hear that sometimes there are rats in the walls. Luckily, I bought you another one. Aren't I the best boyfriend? Silly, you dropped your pencil case when you came over yesterday. I brought it just in case. Just like that, you were being watched, constantly. You had pressed into your favorite stuffed animal's eyes one day to find a camera, and split it open to find a recorder. You smiled a bit. He really was getting better at this. You dozed off every night with the thought of Milo watching you, that he was always there. But there was one more thing you wanted to check. He had invited you to his dorm to hang out for a bit. Milo, could you tell me where the bathroom is? Of course, down the hall. As you left, you snuck into his room to dig through his backpack. Pictures. Photos of you in your dorm, out in your class, and from inside of your pencil case. Items from things that he had made an exact duplicate of that he was sure you would never notice. Notes of locations of where you had gone and where to meet up, or places he had convinced you to go to. And of course, a recording device playing your voice over and over again. The thought of such an obsession made you happy beyond relief. There was only ever you in his heart, his eyes, his soul. Soon, you thought, he would be the perfect love for you. It took a while to convince Milo to cease his actions. Even when he promised to do so, you would see him go behind your back to continue. I see, Milo. You do want me to fail, then. You want me to move schools so that we're forced to separate. Is that what you're telling me? Huh? But I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just karma at this point. And besides, I can't stop the public from attacking him. That's true, but makes me lonely, you know? All this time, where you constantly call and text Ryan. All those people that keep coming up to you, talking with you for hours. Strange. It's almost like you've become obsessed with Ryan instead of me. You could see that this struck a nerve with him. Good. My dearest, you are my world. How could I live without you? I want to see you every second that I'm alive. And everyone else is just in the way. He bites his fingers nervously, as if he realized what he had done. To be by your side. To always be with you. I'll stop. And so with that, Ryan was safe. For now. Milo started to swerve away from people that tried to talk to him, ignoring them in favor of you. Slowly, it seemed the public got bored of harassing Ryan. And in turn, Milo was always there, watching you. More things will be taken and replaced. You could feel his eyes watching throughout your dorm. Peaceful, you thought. And so, for a while, nothing else was out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Things, of course, would disappear and reappear at random for you. You were sure Milo was replacing things so he would keep them. You had even found more cameras in nooks and crannies of your dorm. And you had found that he had installed some sort of stalker shrine somewhere in his dorm as well. Filled with pictures of you, recordings of you, items of value, items found in the trash, a doll. All of his intention on you. Yet despite all of this, nothing seemed to change. He would watch over you, never turning his eyes. But you wanted more. Just one final push. He was walking around campus, waving to people as he passed by. He kept looking at you, smiling. Do you want to say something, my dearest? Milo stopped for a second and cocked his head. How could I live without you, my dearest? You've made me into something completely different. I'm so happy. Not only do people finally notice me, but they don't treat me like some gum that they found on their shoe. He hugs you suddenly, shaking. How could I ever part from you? If you were to leave, he looks at you again. You'll never feel at ease again. There's no way we would part, right? You breathed out slowly as you heard his words. Ah, poor simple Milo. His fate was sealed for good. Just one more push. I wish that were true, Milo. That we could be together in our graves. But let's be honest here, my dearest. Do you really think that will happen? Do you really think I would ever break up? Do you really think I would never break up with you? Milo? Why? Why? I did everything right! I wanted to be together! My dearest, what did I do wrong? Did I make you angry? Was I too clingy? Whatever it is, I'll fix it. I'll do anything. I'll change the way I look, the way I act. Did you prefer the pathetic me? I could go back to that. It's okay. I know your type. I've been paying attention. And I haven't been talking to anyone else. My eyes, my soul, my essence itself. It's all yours. Milo. I can't go back to what it was. If you leave, they'll just hurt me again. Living every day as if the next didn't matter, wondering why I even bothered to live. No, I can't. Please, please. Milo! Your own snap caused Milo to flinch. It was the first time you had ever raised your voice at him. I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you until death do us part. The time is not too kind on us. We could drift apart or fight. No, we won't. Then what about those around us? Do you think they won't try to tear us apart? You lean closer to him, next to his ear. My dearest, it's the world around us that wants to take us apart. They're always planning, scheming, watching us fall apart. Don't you see? There's no way to escape it. You lean back, closing her eyes as if contemplating. Well, maybe there is a way. Milo's eyes light up. He leaned closer to you. What? What is it? Whatever it is! I refuse. Let them take us. You cocked your head slightly. The final push. The only way for us to stay together forever is to protect me, to get rid. Oh, that would be so fun. Oh, get rid of them. This world is a cruel place, isn't it, my dearest? All this rot that tries to tear us apart. Then there's only one thing for you to do. Destroy them all. When they're all gone, then I will be yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. You weren't sure, but it felt like a haunting red. Ready to pick them off, one by one. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. Of course, my dearest. It's all so clear now. The only way to save you is to get rid of all those that oppose us. It's so easy. I can learn everything about them and get rid of them without even a second glance. You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun. It'd take you a while to track him down properly, but there he was, in your line of sight. You walked up to him quietly. Ryan? He flinched at your voice and started to back away. What do you want from me? We're done! Done, you hear me? 40-cent transfers to another college, so... Aw, Ryan, what are you so afraid of? That Milo might come after you? His face was full of nothing but rage towards you. You were the one that forced me to bully him! To do all those things! What are you talking about, Ryan? I never said that. Or at least, you have no proof. Seriously, Lion, haven't you done enough already? All this training for Milo? Getting me to bully Milo so you could swoop in. Do you think you're some kind of savior or something? My entire internet presence was ruined. The kind of hate mail I got. Telling me to end myself. Trudging up all my old pictures. Just leave me alone. I did everything you asked, right? He smiled slightly, and he snapped at you. All of this. It's all your fault. Why those people died. Why I'm still in this situation. I wish you could just die. Leave me alone. Please, don't make yourself into such a saint. Weren't you the one who wanted to prank all of those people, even though you knew it was dangerous? And who was the one who shifted the blame to others so you wouldn't be jailed? Don't you think it's the least you could do after you cheated on me? Come on, just admit it. You were the one who resigned yourself to this punishment. You have no one to blame but yourself. You refused to break up with me. I didn't want to be with you anymore. He's hyperventilating from distress. It was a joy to watch him struggle. Just like when you were together with him, it was so entertaining watching him flounder about. Watching him cry. Watching him beg. Forcing him to go through such lengths to get rid of you. When you got bored of him, you tricked him into cheating with someone. It was never your perfect love in the first place. Never would have been. The only hope for failures like that is to crush them to dust. Fine, you win. He stops for a second, not believing what he heard. What? You're right. You did what I asked you. And I promised I would let you go. His eyes tell you he doesn't believe you. He knows you far too well. Well, after this one thing, I knew there was a catch. You pull out a USB and Ryan's eyes widen with fear. Is that... It is. The last piece of evidence that proves that you were the one who killed those people. It would be a shame if it went into the wrong hands. Ryan lunged at you, desperately tried to grab the USB from your hands, but you dodged him. Ah, that's the spirit. Give it! Give it to me! Give it to me! I will. Pry it from my hands. Fight me if you have to. Take it from me. And it's all yours. Without another word, Ryan tackled you to the ground. He tried to swipe at the USB over and over again. He struggled to move his weight on you. He took the USB with ease. Finally! Finally! But Ryan's victory didn't last for long. Milo showed up next to him. His eyes glazed over. He tore the USB away from him without breaking eye contact. Why are you here, Ryan? Don't you know that you're interfering with my lover? If I were you, I would run before I get angry. Milo's eyes were on fire and he seemed to flinch as if it were from heat. Without another word, Ryan leaves. When Milo looks at you, you can feel your body burn. It feels as if someone is shoving your head closer and closer to a fire. The only thing left is your reflection flickering in his eyes. And then, he smiles. Don't worry, my dearest. I'll make sure that he and the others, that nothing will take us apart. You see, you hear him, surely, but all you can see is the red in his eyes. Milo was acting strange nowadays, and not in the way you wanted. He was talking, socializing with the enemy. Somehow, somewhere, he had befriended Ryan, and the two became inseparable? Even worse than that. Every person who you had hated, despised, even found annoying, he seemed to have gotten in contact with them as well. And with his silver tongue, gotten them to join the same causes as you. You should have been enraged, angered. You should have torn him apart. But the way that he talked, the way that he would look at you, the way his eyes shone a rageful, hateful red, as if he was looking at insects that needed to be squashed. Something about his bloodlust made you trust in what he was planning. Perhaps you just needed to suck it up. At least, until you could gut Milo personally. Well, look who it is. Easier said than done, you thought. They kicked the side of your leg roughly, and you fell over to the ground with a loud thud. Still a weakling who doesn't know their place, huh? From what I recall, you were back. This time, a kick to your chest, leaving you kneeling on the floor, gasping for air. You should be grateful I haven't gutted you yet. Thank Milo. He's the one begging at my feet to make you happy. Milo? Begging? That can't be right. The only one he should be begging for is you. Ryan smirked before walking away from your state on the floor. You told Milo about the encounter that day, and yet he said nothing. Just wait until exam day. Milo had told you with a hum. Fine. If Milo doesn't get his act together by then, he didn't need an imperfect love. He won't wake up to see the birds the next morning. You would make sure of it. Soon after, the day of the exam came. Milo came up to you, smiling happily. And what are you so happy for, Milo? My gift for you is finally done. Is that so? It was pissing you off. You slammed your hands against the wall, pinning him down. Huh? What are you? Milo, do you know what the hell I had to go through this semester because of you? To watch as Ryan harassed me every day. How pitiful it was to see you kneel before the man I saved you from. To see you ignore me time and time again, to hang out with him and the other insects. If you hated me so much, you should have just said so. Milo stood there in shock, his breath hitched in his throat. His eyes were filled with that burning hatred again. Before he smiled with a forced grin. It's alright, my dears. I promise that we will never have to talk to him again. After today, it'll be something you will never forget. I promise. He walked back from the wall and turned away from him. You better hope so. If you're lying, it won't end well for you. He walked into the lecture hall, placing a backpack on the floor as he sat down. I'm going to text you right before the exam. Please follow my instructions for the gift. He had whispered to you before he had walked into the hall. You closed your eyes and imagined squeezing the eyes from his sockets as he bled out. If this gift was even just a bit lackluster, that's the fate he would get. You waited and watched the other students file in, the worthless insects that Milo had gathered, whispering and laughing. Annoying. You waited and waited, and soon the exam was about to start. Just as the professor was passing out the papers, you felt your phone buzz in your pocket. Please leave class, my dearest. You scoffed. What a gift. Leave now, please. I'm begging you. Why? There's nothing that could save him now. I need you. You stood up suddenly, the eyes of your classmates turning to you. I'm sorry. I have to leave. Quick bathroom break, you said with a forced smile. Before anyone could say anything, you dashed into the hallway. As you stormed out, your shoulders brashly hit Ryan's. Watch where you're... He smiles widely when he saw who had bumped into him. Oh? Who is this? You're running away from your exam? I don't have time for this. You tried to brush past him, but he grabbed your arm. Hey! Did you know it's rude not to apologize to someone you so rudely bumped into? Apologize. Why? He socked you in the face, and you fell to the ground with a thud. Don't act so high and mighty. Apologize. You spat in his face. You slammed your face against the wall, your ears ringing from the impact. Looks like your attitude hasn't changed yet, huh? Even after your new project crashed and burned. You just never learn, do you? You grit your teeth as the phone in your pocket buzzed rapidly. I need you. Then do something! Sorry. Oh? What was that? You gnashed your teeth. I said, I'm sorry. Ryan gasped dramatically and laughed before kicking you to the ground and walking away laughing. You breathed in slowly, before walking out without a word. It took you a while, but you spotted Milo. My dear... Milo flinched when he saw your state, ragged and bruised. Milo! Milo trembled when he heard your voice, sharp as if impaling his heart. You stopped, then looked up at him, unblinking. This is worth it, isn't it, Milo? He grabbed your hands, clasping onto them tightly. I was so worried you wouldn't come out in time. It would be a horrible gift for my dearest if they didn't make it out in time. What? Before he could even take a single breath, he felt the pressure. He felt it crush you like an aluminum can. The ringing in your ears wouldn't stop as you saw the shapes of bodies scrambling about. And then, you heard the rest of the sound, like something had struck the world with thunder. As you turned around, the building was burning, and smoke was suffocating the air. You could almost feel the heat from here. Milo dragged you away from the crowd, the screaming finally able to settle in your ears. He put your hand on his face, nuzzling into your palm. My guy! That was not worth it! Seeing that explosion is a lot more hair-raising in person. It's so much more exhilarating than I thought. The smile on his face was too wide. Who knew Ryan was so dull-witted? Just a tiny spark can make your insides burn. It was quite an ordeal to get him to go back to smoking again. Even harder to properly run a gas leak. I wish I could have seen his face when he had realized what he had done. He looked up at you as you caressed his face. Worry creased his features. Did you like it, my dearest? You stared at him vacantly. All of those people burned into an unforgiving hell. How could you do that? Milo's eyes widened. He was shaking, afraid of disappointment. But you smiled, just as wide as he did. Without letting me in on the fun. You hugged him tightly, as his face turned a dark red. What a wonderful gift. Milo relaxed for a second and hugged back. It's all thanks to you. Isn't it amazing what you've turned me into? I couldn't be happier. Please, praise me. He cooed playfully, nuzzling his face into your palm. You did well, my dearest. Better than I could have predicted. I wonder, what should we do now? I'm sure there are some lucky survivors in the wreckage. Would it be better to snuff them out, or perhaps just watch the aftermath of it all? The glorious flame. You laughed. I'm sure either would be fun, huh? What should we do, my dearest? He intertwined his hand with yours. I'm sure either would be a blast. You and I. There's nothing else I would want more in this world. Wouldn't I throw everything to be with you? Let's stay together for the rest of eternity. There's nothing I would have wanted more. The red in his eyes shone brighter than before, an unbearable insanity that consumed him. All thanks to you. There was nothing left for either of you, and you only had each other. Such a delightful, wonderful rush. Together, your love would burn, like the perfect love it was. A perfect burning love, and... Alright, let's see what happens if we ask Milo to protect us. No matter what, the world will always find a way to take us apart. It's cruel, isn't it? Then the solution is simple. Just make sure I can't be taken away. Make it so. I'm yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. It felt as if you could simply freeze in place. Look at him. As if he wanted to do everything to please you. I think you know what I'm talking about, right, Milo? Sometimes those kinds of things simply can't be helped. You've always been the only one for me. I was foolish to think otherwise. Everything about you drives me crazy. I can't live without having you near me. You nearly laughed at the results that you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. It'd take you a while to track him down properly, but there he was, in your line of sight, Okay, is this all the same? Can I skip? Yes, I can. What happens here? It felt painful when you tried to stand up. It seems like Ryan may have bruised you while trying to get the USB. He didn't seem to care or even notice as he held the USB victoriously in his hand. He also didn't notice when Milo loomed over him. Ryan? Ryan flinched upon hearing Milo say his name. Hi, me. What are you? He looked over at you, his eyes open at the state you were in. What? What did you do, Ryan? What did you do? His loud voice caused everyone to halt to a freeze. It was rare that Milo would raise his voice at anyone, but the way he growled as tears streamed down his face made you excited. How could you hurt my darling? How could I let this happen? His breathing grew rapid as he started hyperventilating. I can't wait to watch you writhe as I break you. I know everything about you. How to make your life miserable until the end. I won't let you hurt them anymore. Trust me. His eyes, his piercing stare, were ice cold. Ryan hesitated, not sure what to do. This is the last you'll see of me. Yeah, I promise. Without another word, Ryan scrambled away, leaving you and him alone. Milo, How could I let this happen? He was clutching a hand so hard it started to hurt. You were the one that saved me, and I couldn't even save you from him. Someone as godly as you. His eyes were void of life, like someone had gripped his very soul and crushed it. I don't deserve to breathe the same air as you. I don't deserve to stand where you stand. His breathing finally calmed down, this erratic behavior fading from him. I should have known. I could never be perfect for you. Before he could say anything, he dashed. Hi, guy! You tried to go after him, but the pain caused you to stumble. This is a problem. All that work. With no other choice, you dragged yourself back to the dorm to rest. For a while, you didn't get to see Milo, but you knew he was always watching. Things of yours were still missing after all. The camera's still working inside of your dorm. And yet, it was quiet, and frankly, rather lonely without him. So you left him a note. Milo, I miss you. Soon, the next day, there was another note on your table, along with what looked like a box of chocolates. I miss you too, my darling. I wish I could tear out my heart to give to you, but I'm not worthy. Whatever you want, whatever you need, I'll give them all happily to you. And so, the notes and gifts become commonplace for you two. You would leave gifts throughout the dorm, in your backpack, and on your bed. Some items were romantic. Flowers, candles, and even little cheesy plushies. Some were more disturbing. Pictures of you at your classes. Notes with your name scribbled over and over again about how unworthy he was. What looked to be a necklace made from his hairs and teeth. As the days went on, the gifts and notes became more erratic. Drawings of you and repeated messages in blood became more common. He would give gifts of his saliva and tears, as well as his fingernails, in a strange fashion, mixed with yours. You never saw him, but you knew he was always watching. Whenever you were just about to buy something that you've just run out of, you will find the item on your desk the next day. If someone was giving you trouble, you would find bits and pieces of their clothes, hair, and even teeth on your doorstep, along with a note, lovingly stating that he had brought you gifts. You always felt him watching, the sounds of crawling within the walls. It felt comforting knowing that nothing could touch you, that you had someone who worshipped you as if his life depended on it. But then again, how far could he go? You decided to test it one day, scribbling out a note in detail. Just like usual, it was gone the next day, replaced with a note and a heart drawn in blood. And then, for a few days, it was silent. The notes stopped coming, yet things stopped disappearing. At least, until one day, you found a box inside of your house. There was a strange smell to it as you approached it, and when you opened the box, an amputated hand greeted you, with an eye necklace wrapped carefully around its fingers. Inside it, a note. Just as you wanted. I got you just what you wanted. My darling. I did a good job, didn't I? It's what you wanted, right? Please, praise me. Praise me. Yeah, I got it. You want me to praise you? I love you. Over and over again. He looked up, smiling, stared straight into the camera hidden in the walls. Oh, my darling. You did so wonderfully. I love it so much. You could hear the heavy breathing within the walls as you praised him. Brahms, what the hell? You were worried at first that Milo would have left you, that all your work would be undone. And yet, you couldn't ask for a better circumstance. Oh, my darling, you truly are my perfect love. A perfect love beyond the wall's end. Okay, I guess for now we will choose to drug Ryan back. Let's see where this goes. Wouldn't it be fun to give him a taste of his own medicine? Drugging him? My, that does sound fun. Think of all the applications I could use it for. Playing with your strengths is always a good thing, my dearest. Wouldn't it be fun to learn about such things on our little study date? Oh? Are you asking me out so soon? He teases you, but you can see that he's giddy about the idea. Well then, shall we have fun on our date? Let's get going then. Despite your wobbly legs, you felt exhilarated at the thought of Ryan's face with fear. You walked out of your dorm room, and Milo follows suit. You walk with Milo to a seemingly quiet part of campus. Unlocking an abandoned lab, Milo trails in behind you. Since when did you have access to this lab? Since a very kind professor saw my interest and decided to give me access. Ah, so you took it off of someone then, huh? I can't pull the wool over your eyes, huh? Are you disappointed in me, Milo? He takes your hand and kisses up your arm. How can I ever be disappointed in you, my dearest? You were the one who saved me from Ryan. So now, I'll be the one who'll save you. No matter what. Waltzing into the lab, the beakers and other glass tubes stood watching us. Well then, let's get started. You think back at what it felt like when you were drugged. Dizziness, a bit of drowsiness. The way he did it so fast and the fact that you didn't see it in the water. Looks like that guy learned from before and actually made the proper dosage of GHB. Ah, he's done this before? Alright, you weren't here last year. There were a couple of deaths due to overdosing on drugs. Lots of students were thrown to jail, but there were rumors that Ryan was the one behind it all. You could still recall Ryan's face when he got accused. It wasn't the face of someone that was innocent. Milo laughs sharply, interrupting your train of thought. Then he's really getting what he deserves then, huh? I can't wait. Don't be so hasty. Wouldn't want you to get hurt, my dearest. You hand him some safety goggles and he puts them on. Do I look good? Very. He giggles, happy with the compliment. Well then, shall we start? GHB is probably the most common one. We have the ingredients already. Luckily, I had experience with it before and knew what to do. With the materials here, it seemed that it would be rather easy to make. I've also always wanted to make chloroform as well, though it might not be that good in this situation. I suppose it would be different than in the movies. You might as well suffocate them with how long that would take. Unfortunately, I still need him alive for the project. Maybe next time then? His voice sounded like he was joking, but his eyes told a different story. Maybe for fun, I'll show you how to make it in a bit. You pull out a silicone packet you had taken from the seaweed you had taken earlier. I'll have to check if this is enough, but ketamine is fun to make as well. What the heck? And as for this, you pull out another packet from your pocket. Seems like it's pretty easy to get Rohypnol if you pretend you need it for anxiety. You sure have very varied interests. Oh? Is there some hesitation I hear, my dearest? It was a joke! You know that I only have admiration for you. Just thinking of Ryan's face after he realized what he's done is so... He drools hungrily. Tantalizing. You stretch out, prepared to teach Milo the ropes. Shall we? For a couple of days, you and Milo would sneak inside of the labs. You had to be careful to clean up afterwards, but considering how secluded this lab was, nobody ever came in. Milo, as usual, was a fast learner. He picked up everything naturally. At the same time, you and Ryan finished your project together. You had convinced Ryan to have a drink once the both of you had finished. A perfect opportunity. How surprising. I guess since we're almost done, he wants to celebrate early. I'll be a bit more careful this time, and... You hold out some white powder to show Milo. Got a bit of vengeance too, then, huh? Well, Milo, you coming with? And I'll need backup in case something goes wrong while we're talking. Actually, if you don't mind, may I do the honors? You tilt your head inquisitively. He wants to talk to Ryan. What a surprise. Are you sure, my dearest? It would be terrible if a repeat of last time happened. I'd rather you not get hurt. I won't let him get the best of me this time. I promise you, my dearest. You see his eyes, filled with determination. He can't seem to say no to it. All right, Milo, as you wish. We arrived at the bar that Ryan had invited us. Hey, it's... His fake smile dropped as he saw that Milo had joined you. You too. You looked at him condescendingly. Sorry, did you not think I would bring him? I thought it would just be the two of us, you know? 'Cause we actually worked on the project. Well, sorry about that. He smiled in a fake manner, and he glared at Milo. Milo doesn't even look at him as he scrolls through his phone. God, he looks so dashing in the goggles. Jesus. Ryan glares at him and turns to you. Ryan droops down closer to you and whispers. Lion, don't you think this is too much? I mean, all this for him? I'm not sure I like what you're trying to say, Ryan. Ryan looks up suddenly to hear Milo laughing while looking on his phone. Never mind. When have you ever listened to me anyway? It'll end up badly, you know. Thanks for the warning. But I know what I'm doing. He turns to the bartender to call for our drinks. How nostalgic. Seems like you still remember my favorite. Yeah, I'm not a monster. The barkeep taps our drinks onto the counter and we cheer to finishing our project. To us! And another year of our professors torturing us. He puts the glass to his lips. Before Ryan could drink, Milo slung his arm over his shoulders. What are you doing? This? Oh, this. I just want to thank you so much for helping my lover with this project. After all, you really saved their grade, and I can't thank you enough. Despite how friendly his words seemed, there was an aftertaste of malice. Though it seemed like Ryan didn't pick up on it. Oh, that? It's nothing. Though that's not the reaction I was expecting. You planning something? Milo makes a quick expression of anger, before snapping back to his cheerful facade. What are you talking about? Do I look like the type to hold grudges? I mean, I can't be mad at a Galaxy Wars fan. What? You watched it too? Of course. What person wouldn't? In fact, there was a new preview earlier today. Really? Show me! Milo pulls out the preview and lets Ryan watch it on his phone, and uses the other hand to slip something into his drink. He winks at you mischievously before stirring it slightly as the preview ends. Duh! These previews are too short. Unfortunate, right? Guess we have to wait for the next one. Yeah, but I shouldn't be interrupting your time together, so I'll just sit way over there. Watching. He smiles as he walks away, but leaves shivers down Ryan's spine. He looks at the drink, and hesitantly looks at you. What's the matter, Ryan? Let's drink to our success. Ryan. He looks at it again, and closes his eyes and chugs it. He taps the glass on the table and walks off. Oh? Where are you going, friend? I have class. Huh? Really? What was it that you used to say? That going to class is a waste of time? Say it nicely, that is. Why don't you just stay? His eyes flash a dangerous expression, and Ryan looks towards you. Milo, let's let him go. Just seeing his ugly face is enough to make me puke. You cling onto Milo's arm, and his face changes to an expression of adoration. Plus, if we leave now, then we could spend more time together, right? You trace your finger on his chest, and as Milo's eyes are fixed in worship on you, Ryan slips out the back. My dearest, why didn't you just say so? Huh? Where did that rat go? Still focusing on him instead of me? He looks back at you, gleeful. No, of course not! You're my entire world! My everything. Then, you shouldn't even so much as think about another person. Understand? Come now, Milo. Let me buy you a drink. You did such a wonderful job. Dragging his attention away from Ryan, you meet Milo's gaze. You just wanted him to look at you. And only you. And so, college life went as normal. Whenever he saw Ryan, he would hurriedly walk towards the opposite direction. And Milo, he started to invite you out for drinks more often. He said that he wanted to get to know you more. But you knew that wasn't the truth. Every now and then, you would see him putting something in your drink. It was cute, thinking that he could hide it from you. Really, it was. It made you proud that I had taken your lessons into heart. So you drank it, nevertheless. The kind of glee he had whenever you did was entertaining, and you slowly felt weaker. Milo would feign ignorance, ask if you were okay. You must be studying too much. Let me take care of you. And you'd be brought over to his dorm for him to nurse you. Slowly, you start to take care of other things, like your meals, your things. You weren't allowed to do certain things. Milo would simply get anything you wanted. Hand and knee, anything you wanted or needed. Comforting yet restricting. A cat playing with his prey. It is really fun being the mouse, isn't it? It was at least an entertaining game to you. At least it is to you. That's why you created this game. Perfect. And so, for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Milo's smooth charade never seemed to dim. He smothered you with love. Almost too much so. Your body seemed to have regained its strength again. How annoying. It seems regardless of what you do, he would never push onwards himself. Despite him simply blowing air about how much he wanted you, it just wasn't enough. Isn't it time to take action then? To finally make him what you wanted him to be? Just one final push. He was walking around campus, waving to people as he passed by. He kept looking at you, smiling. Do you want to say something, my dearest? Milo stopped for a second and cocked his head. How could I live without you, my dearest? You've made me into something completely different. I'm so happy. Not only do people finally notice me. Yeah, can we skip this part? I'm pretty sure we've seen this. Hang on. I'll make sure I'm the only one you will ever see. There's no way we would part, right? He breathed out slowly as he heard his words. Ah, poor, simple Milo. His fate was sealed for good. Just one more push. I wish that were true, Milo. That we could be together until our graves. Let's be honest here, my dearest. You really think that will happen? We've already seen all this, so skip. No! Did I not take care of you enough? I get it. All the things I did. I should practice more. I understand. How could Phil like me properly compare to someone like you? Milo? I can't go back to what it was. Me neither. What else do you gotta say? Nothing else, I see. So, I want Milo to get rid of them. This world is a cruel place, isn't it, my dearest? All this rot that tries to tear us apart. Then, there's only one thing for you to do. Destroy them all. When they're all gone, then I will be yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. Can we skip this? Yes, we can. I wonder what would be easier. Drugging the cafeteria food or just the water supply? You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun. It'd take you a while to track him down properly, but there he was in your line of sight. We see Ryan. He's gonna try to mess with us. I'm gonna skip ahead. You taught him how to drug me, trying to befriend me so I wouldn't notice. I don't even want to think about what happened the next day. Just leave me alone. Did everything you asked, right? Well, yeah, but not enough. Skipping ahead. Before he could celebrate any longer, though, Milo had grabbed his wrist. With a cold smile, he asked a simple question. Finally what, Ryan? Ryan went pale, seeing Milo's smiling face loom over him. It's nothing, Milo. Nothing at all. He croaked out an unconvincing lie. Then, if that's the case... Milo leaned in, only inches away from Ryan's face. I would appreciate it if you never talked to my lover again. Milo lets go of his wrist, and he shakes. Ryan runs away without turning back. He turns to you next. My dearest, what were you two talking about? He said it with a slight smile, but there's a coldness to it. It seems he wanted to take me back, to use me as some sort of toy again. But no matter how much I said no, he refused to let me go. Thank goodness you showed up. All lies, of course, but Milo ate it up as if it were the words of his god. He smiled, eyes widened with an unsettling grin. I see. Then I'm glad I was able to save you then, my dearest. Please, don't worry. I'll make sure that something like this will never happen again. A quiet declaration, with the red burning in his eyes. Ever since Ryan ran away, Milo seemed to have been engrossed with a new hobby. As much as he tried to figure out what he was doing, it seemed he was very secretive about it. Aw, you try and find out what your present is going to be. It's a surprise for a reason. He would say in a sing-song manner, happy to see that you were so interested. He kept his gift under wraps, always checking his phone as if he were watching and waiting for something. Humming happily as he continued scrolling through his phone. He would always talk about how excited he was to gift it to you, how much you would love it, until finally, he was finished. As a surprise, he blindfolded you and brought you somewhere secret. I'm so excited. I hope you like all my hard work. Unveiling your eyes to behold, you stood in awe of what you saw. For a second, you thought there was a person sitting in the chair in front of you. But as you leaned in closer, you saw what it really was. A giant, jointed doll, exact replicate of Ryan. The skin, the eyes, the clothes, they all look exactly like him. Milo, this is amazing. How did you manage to make him look so convincing? Oh, I just had some very good references, let's say. He smiled happily, proud at the praise you had given him. He inspected the doll closer. It was so lifelike. How did he... Ah, you realized immediately. His eyes were moving, the pupils dilating and expanding, as if he were trying to communicate. The face seemed wet, as if it were crying. Milo leaned closer to you. Yeah, I'm sorry, my dears. I actually ended up selling this one to a collector. I hope you're not too mad. She looked back at him and gave him a smile. No, of course not, my dearest. How could I be mad at you? As an apology, I'll make as many dolls as you'd like. Any friend, foe, classmate, professor? I can make anyone into a doll for you. Anyone you want. Oh? How generous. You know, I was just thinking. I like a nice doll of Desmond. Don't you think it would be a nice gift for his girlfriend? I think she would be thrilled at that kind of surprise. If that's what you wish, who am I to deny, my dearest? He stared into his eyes. What a beautiful masterpiece you had made. A perfect doll maker. Just for you. Any person could become your doll, to break or to destroy, to make them cry, of joy or fear. How delightful your hard work had spawned something so wonderful. Now you have your one and only perfect love. A doll's love end. Right, so what happens if we asked him to protect us? No matter what, the world will always find a way to take us apart. It's cruel, isn't it? Then the solution is simple. Just make sure I can't be taken away. Make it so I'm yours. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. Let's skip all this. I wonder if there's a way I can make you never forget me, so that I'm always imprinted on your mind. He nearly laughed at the results you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. Yep, we found Ryan. Screw all this. Let's skip ahead. In his excitement, Ryan fumbled with the USB, dropping it to the ground. He scrambled to get it, only for him to be by the feet of Milo. Ryan tried to grab the USB, only for Milo to step on it. Hello there, Ryan. What do you think you're doing? Milo! I was just getting something from Lion. It's nothing big, really. I just... silly Ryan. That's not what I was asking. Let me rephrase it for you. Why are you near my dearest? What? I can't read that. Why are you even talking to my lover? Get away from them! The utter disdain in Milo's eyes made Ryan shrink away. Look, I won't bother them anymore, okay? I swear. I was just about to leave. You won't see me anymore. Oh, I know, Ryan. Because if you don't... His eyes were cold, as if he was shooting daggers into Ryan. And then he smiled. I'll make sure that the hospital is your new permanent home. With that, Milo lifted his foot, and Ryan scrambled away. He looked at Ryan as he ran away, then back at Milo. Thank you, my dearest. Will you leave me, like you left him? The question caught you off guard, and he was stunned into silence. Milo, what are you... No, you wouldn't. I'll find a way for us to be together. Forever. You couldn't put another word in as he walked away from you. A cold shiver went down your spine when he had looked at you. It felt as if something bad was about to happen. Something that you couldn't take back. You woke up groggily as if you had been asleep for ages. As the fog in your mind cleared, you realized you were seated on a couch. Did Milo drug you last night? It's hard to remember. There was a strange ache in your left eye, like someone had tried to scoop it out. You tried to move your hand towards it to feel what was going on, but you realized, try as you might, you couldn't move your limbs. You could only awkwardly bob your head side to side. I wouldn't try to move, my dearest. We're still in the middle of getting married, you know? Married? Shyly, Milo tapped the ring on your left hand, with the ring matching his. They say that this finger is connected to the human heart, and if you betray someone in love, you'd have to cut it off. I thought the idea was so romantic, so I decided, that we should have something from each other to seal the deal. You look up at Milo slowly, and your eye looked straight back at you. My eye? I wasn't sure if I did it correctly, but look! We're matching now, aren't we? His face flushed. The eyes started to cry, with tears leaking out. An eye for an eye. It was strangely beautiful in a way. I'm not quite done yet. I have one more thing before we are officially married. A metal stick with the symbol of an eye on it, colored in hot red. With this, we really will be together. Forever. Before he could protest, he pressed the iron straight onto your bare my chest! You let out a scream of agony as the metal burned into your skin. Your eye, Milo's eye, both started tearing up. In reflexive pain, you bash your head into Milo's nose, causing him to stumble backwards. Gasping, you could feel steam rising from your chest as the markings settled onto your skin. And then you heard laughing. A hysterical, gleeful laugh. Trying to ignore the pain, you crane your neck upwards to see. A Milo, blushing profusely in ecstasy as his nose bleed out from your previous headbutt. That hurts so much! Being hurt by my dearest. He wiped the blood from his nose, all the while pressing down with his painful squirming, sounding joyful. You felt the paralysis in your arms wearing off, and you touched your chest, circling the newly scorched branding. We're so close to being bound together. He placed the branding iron into your hands and started to pull off his shirt. I can't wait. I'll be marked, just like you soon. He guided your hand to push the rod against his skin and, pushing it into him, the tears from his eyes started to run down quickly. He was drooling, enjoying the pain a little too much. God damn you, masochist. He pulled it away, leaving a deep mark on his chest, mirroring yours. Now, even if you ran away, even if you were taken from me, we are marked as one. You cupped his face as he spoke, drying his tears with your fingers. You finally understand, don't you? The kind of love I was striving for. This is it. You understand, right? To be twisted into one. A cruel love to most, but to you, it was finally the perfect love you wanted. A married love? I mean, I guess technically, I thought the married love would be a little different, but good enough for me. Okay, so we're done with the manipulative endings. Right now, I want to see what happens in the violent endings. There's one particular ending which I'm really looking forward to. I will leave that for last before we actually get down into the true ending for this. I'll show you guys how to do it in just a moment. But let's head to the battling cages. I'm in the mood to swing a bat. I'm not really the aggressive or athletic type. That's no problem. You have some anger to release, don't you? We'll have some fun. Then, shall we? Oh, batting cages. I thought battling cages. Holding out your hand, Milo takes it and we walk together towards the batting ring. My personal room, please. Pulling Milo, we head to an empty room filled with bats and a dummy. I thought we were going to swing a bat. Oh, we are. Just perhaps not in the way you were thinking. You pick up the bat and it cracks as the dummy flies backwards and bounces back. Milo flinches at the loud sound. Here you go. Your turn. He seems reluctant to take it. I don't think I can. I'm against violence. My darling, it's not a real person, only a dummy. You place the bat into his hand. There's nothing wrong with letting out your anger like this. You lean in closer to him. Aren't you angry at those bullies? How they always use you? How they laugh behind your back, even though you've done nothing wrong? You didn't deserve it. You never did. All you wanted was a peaceful life. That's how I felt. Is it not the same for you? Just let out your rage. He clenches his fist around the bat. You grin as he steps towards the dummy. Take a step back. He clubs the dummy hard. And then again. And again.
Why? Why do you always kick me? What have I done wrong? You think you know everything. Just die already!
Almost in tears, Milo strikes the dummy over and over again. The rage in his eyes is so tantalizing. You're thrilled beyond belief. Finally, after bludgeoning the dummy, he steps back, heaving to catch his breath. And one more strike. The bat shatters. He screams out, dropping the remains of the bat and clutching his hand. Milo, you alright? Sorry, I went overboard. What are you sorry about? It's the most alive that I've seen you. From your bag, you pull out some bandages. Give me your hand. He holds out his hand, blood-stained as you attend to the wound. I didn't think I had so much rage inside of me. It was scary, but it felt good. He looks up at me, grinning shyly. Yeah, it felt really good. He looks down, as if scared. I didn't scare you, did I? If I did, I promise I won't. My darling, there's no way I could be scared of you that easily. If anything, maybe happy that you were finally letting your anger out. This world can be cruel. You wrap his hands round and round. I wonder if there will come a day where you or I will get attacked. What? Why would you think that? It's only natural. This world is filled with violence. One day, you might have to strike back. But solving violence with violence, it's wrong, right? Not always. Don't think of it as violence. Think of it as self-defense. Protection against others, protecting the people you love. You trust me, right? Yeah. Then, please protect me. If the situation arises, I will. I promise. And so the bats continued swinging. From then on, the batting arena became our place together. For dates, to let off steam, all sorts of things. And slowly, he taught him. Step back a bit when you hit. It's not good to be too close. It's not fair for someone as kind, as strong as you to be hurt like this. Striking someone in the knees is a good way to disable someone. My darling, you deserve the world, but they don't deserve you. The chin and nose as well. Everyone feels like they are against us. I can only trust you. And I'm the only one you can trust. The ways to hit, the way to act. It was fun at first, but it's important to keep each date entertaining. Destroying cars at an abandoned lot. Breaking glass jars, plates, and other pieces in a ramshackle house. Self-defense classes to fight, protect, hurt. Whatever it would take to train him. Whatever it would take to watch him grow stronger. Ensnaring him to only cling on to you. To save only you. Nobody else in this world. Just as it should be. For a while, it seemed that days were peaceful. Milo grew more confident as a person, more brash in some senses. His attire changed as well, more rough and ruthless. Yet despite this, his personality was still meek, timid. It seemed more work still needed to be done. The bullies slowly strayed away from him, not sure how to make of this development. And as they did, he stayed closer to you, clinging. No one came near him, as it was meant to be. Because to him, you were his savior. And yet, it wasn't enough. My, you've gone stronger, darling. Those bullies have to think twice before coming near you. You've really changed, haven't you, Milo? It's bad. I mean, I like it a lot better now. I think it's an improvement. Are you happy that you've been remade this way? I feel like I'm a new person since I met you. Yeah, it's a good feeling. I even got this new baseball bat to celebrate. Bah! You briefly hear something being thrown before the wind is knocked out of you. You can barely push yourself up. As you sputter blood and saliva onto the ground, you feel yourself being pulled out by the hair as you see Milo, frozen in fear. Surrounding him are a bunch of gang members holding pipes, bats, and other weapons. Well, well, well. Looks like Ryan was right this time. Hey, yo, ma'am! Scars trace on her face, and she looks you in the eye. Hot? Kinda? Hot? Maybe? I'm confused. Maybe. Yeah. The brat really paid us big money to smack you around, huh?
Brian? The one who's been bullying me all this time?
Is that what all this is about? It must have been real butthurt that you're no longer punching bag for him, huh? I guess that's why we gotta take it out on this one, huh?
What?
He's trembling a bit, and his eyes are darting around anxiously.
Don't hurt them! It's me once, right? My darling! Don't hurt my darling!
Your vision is blurred, and his voice is echoing in your ears. And yet, you smile. Remember what I said. This world is filled with violence. You promised to protect me, right? Are you really going to back on that? Oh? Looks like your darling has some spunk. The next sound was a broken scream, as a bat cracked into a ribcage. Hey, yo! From then, there was nothing but a massacre. The cracks of bones as the bat shattered them. The screams of begging as he took another victim. Yo! The sound spattered blood on the pavement below. Milo kept bashing on them over and over again. They tried to restrain him, keep him down, hit him, but he never flinched. The only thing he could think of was how to protect you. And soon, the gang member grabbing you was the last one standing. The scarred gang member flinched slightly, not expecting this meek man would put up such a fight. You smiled as you watched her quiver a bit, as Milo walked closer to you, hobbling a bit from side to side, dragging his now red bats across the floor, his eyes focused on only her. She dropped you and ran, and you looked up at Milo, covered in red. His eyes weren't one of a human anymore. Milo. Milo, my darling. Come on, let's go. You dragged him away from the scene as best you could. You could feel him shaking a bit. Finally, he spoke. Sorry. I'm sorry. You protected me, my darling. Why are you apologizing? It's Ryan's fault, anyway. Did you hear what she said? That Ryan was the one who tried to attack me? All because I tried to help you? Ryan. You're right. It's his fault. From then on, the attacks became more frequent. Whenever you were outside, they would jump you from behind. Milo would always protect you as best he could. He became paranoid, clinging onto you more desperately to protect you. Unsurprisingly, it seemed that Ryan had disappeared at that moment, as if he knew that Milo would come after him. What a coward. He smirked. It was fitting of him. It seems that there's no one we can trust. The fact that anyone could attack me at any moment. We can only trust each other. Of course, I wouldn't let them hurt you. I won't let anyone hurt you. Once again, you were surrounded by the bodies of gang members sent to harass you. So you would never let them kill you. You could always tell that Milo could barely hold back. It's unfortunate that the police couldn't help us. In the end, the only one I can trust is you. I'll protect you until the end. I know you will, darling. He smiled, as if he were looking at the only thing that mattered. The barrage of attackers seemed to have lessened. I think Ryan is starting to realize that brute force isn't going to cut it. But he'll have to come out eventually. In our class, he and I assigned a project together.
I'm going to kill that guy!
After all he's done to you. He walked to him, stroking his cheek and calming him down. There, my darling. In due time. I can't read that.
You're my everything, so I can't... I can't
lose you. You smile silently as you feel his eyes gaze upon you. It's working. You pat around your pockets suddenly. Seems you've dropped it. Crouching down, you start rummaging around the bodies of the fallen.
What are you doing? What if they wake up and grab you?
Then you'll be there to beat them down again, right? There it is. You pull out a bundle of bandages from under the bodies. Look like you were injured, so I'll have to patch you up again.
You could have just bought them from the store.
You could say I'm a bit sentimental. These ones are special. It's the same roll that I first patched you up with.
What?
You kept that. He seems flustered as you bandage his arms once again. Of course, it was the first date we had. After finishing, you pull at his arm. Walk me home, alright? And so he walked you back to your dorm, safe and sound.
God, that kid was rough. I thought we were going against the college students. Is everyone alright? Did you get the cash?
Yeah, that one slipped it under when they picked up the bandages.
That one is a real freak. Who hires people to attack them?
Must have had something to do with that Ryan kid. You think it's some sort of revenge scheme?
Oh! Oh god!
I know. Seemed like more than that. That one. I feel bad for that Milo kid. He has no idea what's in store for him. For a while, it seemed as if everything had died down. The attacks basically became non-existent, so we couldn't let our guard down. Milo was especially restless, glaring at anyone who even so happened to glance at you. He watched over you like a guard dog, staying by you as much as he could. No one would ever come near us like that. It was comforting in a way. And so, days went on as normal. Schoolwork, fun activities, some dates. At least until one of the big projects for your class. It seems Ryan has appeared again. He's my partner for the big project. Let's skip. Milo slams his fist into the wall next to him, denting it. The people around snap quiet in fear before slowly resuming the talk.
Don't get too excited, darling. I should find a way to rip his tongue out of his mouth.
I'm sure I could find a way to bash his head in without anyone noticing. That'll be quite the treat to watch. If he cries out, it's even more fun. He smiles widely, cracking his knuckles. Not yet. As much as I'd love to destroy him in that way, darling, I would like to actually pass this class, and this project is a huge part of my grade. So let's hold it off now, alright? Milo growls a bit, but remains silent afterwards. What was that? Fine, but the second you guys are done, he tightens his bandages. So long as you don't draw any attention, you can do as you please. We're supposed to be meeting up in Cafe 15 to talk about what we're going to do. And I'd like you to come with, just in case. Well, who knows if he'll pull something. Milo scowls a bit, clearly wanting to punch a hole in his face. As if I would have to let you go alone. You're mine. And I won't let anyone touch you. The response sends shivers down your spine. You've trained him a little too well. As we walked in, we see Ryan sitting on one of the booths. His face twists from contempt to annoyance when he sees that Milo has entered with you. Strange. He's not in our group, is he? Hey, don't disrespect my cute little doggy like that, by the way. And let's skip. Ryan looks like he wants to lunge at you, but Milo leans forward. He wraps his arms around you, as if to warn him. Touch a single hair on their head, and I'll snap your neck. Ryan hesitates and leans back down. Whatever, let's just hurry up and get this project finished. For the next couple of hours, you and Ryan planned out your project. The two of you ordered some food and drinks, seemingly chatting nonchalantly about what to do. But underneath it all, it felt like you were pointing knives at each other's throats. Skip ahead. Well, living under the threat of violence was something to be angry about. Milo would watch silently as we talked with each other. His arms crossed, leaning back, glaring at Ryan. Like he would slam his head into the table at any moment. Scribbling down Ryan's ramblings, your spoon slipped and fell into the ground. Okay, Skip. I got it. Milo leans down under the table to grab it, not before bumping his head against it a bit. He gently places the spoon back into your hand before glaring at Ryan. What are you looking at? Ugh, this lovey-dovey crap makes me want to barf, Skip. Don't worry. I'll make him pay. Thought I might break some bones along the way. Forget it. I need him alive so he doesn't make me do all the work. That's disappointing. Sighing, you fork over the money, and you and Milo head back. Let's head back to the dorms. I have to get some stuff before next class. Milo nods and holds you as you walk. But as you walk, something doesn't feel right, Skip. Milo seemed to have been by your side, holding and stroking your hand gently. By the way, yeah, like before, we got drugged and yeah, we're brought back into, I believe, Milo's dorm? I think so. Please, please, my darling. You can feel his warm hand shaking as you place your other hand on him. His eyes snapped open, and he happily holds your hand to his face. Thank God! Thank God! Despite how gruff he normally acts, he is always soft for you. My darling, what happened? You passed out suddenly after we left the cafe. Can we skip here? Yes, we can. What did he do? He clutches onto your hand tighter, almost crushing it before loosening. Sorry. Don't worry. You'll be able to use that anger soon. It seems that Ryan must have drugged me. Must have been the water. Dropping my spoon was the perfect opportunity for him to do so. How oddly clever for him. First he sends gang members after us, now he drugs you? He punches the bed, and you can feel it creak in agony. Disgusting. He really doesn't know how to leave it alone, huh? Well, he should be given a taste of his own medicine. Skip. Stalking him would be less obvious, and it would send him a proper warning as to not mess with you. Choices. Milo looks at you eagerly as you make your decision. The best way to get payback. Right. Let's save here. Make a new save. Now, as much as it would be funny to drug him back, okay? I'm leaving that for last. I want to stalk him. He will catch us too easily. Stalk is the way to go. Stalking him. I understand. I'm finding the best time to ambush. That's right, my darling. Stalking has so many different applications. How useful. Won't it be fun to have a stakeout together? Together? He fidgets with his hands in nervous happiness. How cute. Even with his more violent nature, he still maintains his romantic side. You walk around your dorm, try to look for what you need for this endeavor, Skip. Well, we used to date, so I know his schedules. Should be easy. I see him tense up at this new information. What? A mix of fear and jealousy cloud his eyes. What a cute reaction. My darling, are you jealous? Afraid he might take me away from you? I would never let you escape me. You're mine, you know? It's just a jest, my darling, as if I would ever go back to him. We were just toying with each other anyway. Him more than me. It was all lies anyway, just something to kill time. But it was obvious that Milo wouldn't let this go so easily. Why don't we focus on watching over Ryan first? Or would you rather stalk me instead? You said it as if it were a joke, but you watched as Milo's eyes widened. Cute. But we'd have to be a bit more hidden, so I got these. Plus some matching hats that you had gotten, Skip. This is... Do you not like my gift, Milo? He hugged it close to his chest, almost in a childish manner. No, this is mine now. Aw, how cute. He fidgets awkwardly, seeming a bit more flustered that he had been complimented. From wolf to puppy, it was so very like him. He put it on afterwards. How's it look? How handsome. He looked away, not sure what to say. Well then, let's get to work. It's the least he deserves for what he pulled. For a while, we followed Ryan around, secretly and with gentle steps. Enough that he would never know that was us. but obvious enough to know that someone was watching him. Skip. But Milo got impatient. At first, it was just acts of violence, breaking his windows, trashing his dorm. A little bit out of control, you thought. Next was the letters, sending him threat after threat. Cutting out words and letters, promising to tear off his head and his legs. Pictures of his friends, promising to gut them alive. He almost felt bad for him, the way Milo tore into him. At some point, he couldn't leave his dorm room for a bit. Afraid that someone out there would kill him if he had stepped out. You could tell Milo was amused at this. Whatever sense of guilt he had was gone. After all, to him, Ryan deserved this more than anything. He tried to hurt you, and it was a threat to his everything. It was enough to make you laugh. It became harder to meet Ryan in person to work on your project. Something wrong, Ryan? I haven't been seeing you in class. At least, it doesn't seem like you've been slacking on your project. This is too much. It's Milo, isn't it? Please tell him to stop. I know what I did was wrong, but I don't want to live like this anymore. All these threats. He's breaking into my dorm. I'm not sure if he would even listen to me anymore. He seems hell-bent on getting revenge. But this is what you wanted, right? Please just make it stop. You ponder a bit, contemplating on shortening Ryan's suffering. Milo's been too rough lately. As much as I hate to admit it, I do need you to finish this project with me. So I'll convince him. You have my word. You can see his shaking stop, the relief in his eyes bringing back life. Really? Of course. Let's do well in this project together. Skip ahead. We can't skip. It wasn't just Ryan that Milo watched. You had noticed that he could never tear his eyes off of you either. It had almost scared you the first time you saw him standing outside your dorm in the middle of the night. His eyes never wavering, observing, watching. At some point, he had disappeared and started to come inside of your dorm at night. It was almost clumsy the way he tried to get into your dorm. You could hear him walk into your house, the footsteps soft but noticeable. It even knocked over something like an awkward puppy. Every night he came in and watched you sleep. He held your hand sometimes, even climbed in bed to sleep next to you. Sometimes he would simply chant your name like a mantra. Okay, I get it. An obsessive dog, worshipping his master as he slept. Some nights he would simply sit there, watching you, his eyes hungry, as if he wanted to eat you alive. Soon after, you noticed that some of your clothes would go missing for days on end, only for them to be returned to you a couple days later. But there were some that you would never get back. How strange. Can't seem to find one of my sweaters. It's too bad too. I had that one for a long time. Milo would tense up a bit every time you mentioned something missing. Might just be lost forever. Sometimes it gets eaten in the laundry machine or something, right? A sweater eaten by a laundry machine? How silly. It made you happy that his mind was so enraptured by you. You were certain. He was about to become your perfect love. It took a while to convince Milo to cease his actions. Even when he promised to do so, you would see him go behind your back to continue. Skip. You think you could leave so easily? I'd simply break your legs and keep you somewhere where no one would find you. How romantic. Couldn't you just hold on a bit longer, my darling? Then after... You lean towards his ear. You can cut my Achilles tendon and take me as you want. The idea left him breathless. He was smiling. Just keep him alive for me, alright? Just enough to finish this project? Alright, I'll do it. I can't wait until you're completely mine. There's no going back now. And so with that, Ryan was safe. For now. And you were his well-guarded treasure. Milo stopped his threats for now, but his frequency of breaking in would increase. Always contemplating if he should take you right now. as you slept peacefully. He always held your hand near his face. Sometimes you wondered if he was contemplating chopping it off, keeping it for himself. Not that you minded that. So desperate for your touch, to drink up every second of being with you. You wanted more. More. And so, for a while, nothing else out of the blue went on. It was just you and Milo. Skip. And so, he continued to come to your house, trying silently, watching you as you slept. Yet you could hear his breathing. He watched over you, night after night. You could tell he really wanted to take you somewhere far away. To perhaps a basement or an attic, somewhere where you would never be found. But he was too unsure, too indecisive to do so. Despite what he had changed into, he was still your dog. He needed to be trained on what to do. Just one final push. He was walking with you across campus as usual. Can we skip this? No, we can't. Looking around, fidgeting a bit. Is there something on your mind, Milo? Milo stops for a moment and hesitates. You've really changed me for the better. Before I was such a weakling, pushed around constantly. But now, no one will ever dare do such a thing. He holds your hand tenderly. And now, I'm happier than ever. It's all thanks to you. He leans his head against your shoulder. I could watch you forever. We're going to be together forever, right? You breathed out, slowly, as you heard his words. Ah, poor, simple Milo. His fate was sealed for good. Just one more push. I wish that were true, Milo. That we could be together until our graves. Skip!
No! No! I won't let you. You're mine. My one and only lover. After all those times I protected you, after all I've done, you're just gonna throw me away? Like trash? Like junk? You and I promise we will be together. If it's not with you, I would rather kill you myself. I should have just taken you while you were sleeping. Broken your legs and your arms. Make it so you can't leave me. Milo, there's nothing left for me. I only exist for you. Nobody else. Only you. Without you, what's the point of living? Why should I even exist? Milo! Your own snap caused Milo to flinch. It was the first time he had ever raised your voice at him. I don't want to leave you. I want to be with you till death do us part. Time is not too kind to us. We could drift apart, or fight. No, we won't. And what about those around us? Do you think they won't try to tear us apart? You lean closer to him, next to his ear. My darling, it's the world around us that wants to take us apart. They're always planning, scheming, watching us fall apart. Don't you see? There's no way to escape it. You lean back, closing your eyes as if contemplating. Skip. Okay, finally, the set of choices. I'm gonna make a save here, just in case. Don't worry, I destroyed those in your path. Are you sure you want to overwrite your save? Yeah, sure, whatever. Protect, get rid. Let's go for protect me first. No matter what, the world will always find a way to take us apart. Skip! As if he would do anything to make you his. I think you know what I'm talking about, right, Milo? Sometimes those kinds of things simply can't be helped. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? You were always mine to begin with. How could I ever take my eyes off of you? Even during the darkest times. You nearly laughed at the result you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. Alright, we have tracked down Ryan. Skip ahead. Blaming me for sending all of those goons after you, even though you were the one who did it to yourself. What insane person would do that? Then he breaks into my house, threatens me with letters and bricks.
I could barely leave my door without fearing for my life. Just leave me alone. Did everything you asked, right?
Skip ahead. And he's scrambling for the USB. It seems that while Ryan pinned you down, you ended up bruising something on your body. You let out a loud pain noise as you stood up. Ryan didn't seem to notice at all as he held the USB in his hand. And he hadn't noticed Milo coming up to him, hovering and staring. He nearly squealed as Milo grabbed his wrist and broke his arm with it. Ryan let out a pained gasp as he instinctively dropped the USB, which Milo crushed under his foot. Perhaps I should break your other arm too? Or maybe snap your neck instead. My darling. Upon hearing you call out to him, he immediately dropped Ryan and came to your side. Lion, you're right. What happened? Did he hurt you? Growling, he stood up and tried to look for Ryan, but he was nowhere to be seen. The coward. I'm going to twist his neck and... Milo tried to chase after him, but you grabbed his arm. Milo, please, don't go. His rage turned to worry as he held you. Should have been there. Should protect you from him. I should have. It's okay, my darling. What I need right now isn't a guard dog, but someone who will care for me. Milo was stunned for a second and nodded. He lifts you up gently and carries you back to your dorm. While he walks, he's silent, looking at you over and over again. His eyes were cold, but his resolve was steady. What was he thinking, you wondered? For a while, Milo took care of you. He stayed in your dorm, cooked for you, cleaned for you. He never left your side as you lay there in bed. At night, he would watch over you as well, his cold eyes staring at you. He would always be muttering something in guilt. How could I let my lover get hurt like that? This world is far too dangerous for them. They won't survive. And how could I live without them? My darling, I won't fail you again. Lion. It wasn't long until you had gotten better. You could sit upright again without any pain. You really are such a wonderful house husband, my darling. I'm completely back to full health. Yeah. You decided to head out for your next classes, but Milo stopped you before you could go out the door. What are you doing, my darling? I won't let you go out there anymore. Strange. I won't fail you again, my darling. I swear on my life. So I thought about it. He drags a bat from behind his back and walks towards you slowly. What's the best way to protect you? To make sure you can never be hurt again. I thought about it. Again and again. And I can't. There's no way to protect you. He looms over you as you back away from him instinctively. So I've come to a compromise. I'll take care of you. Forever. Even if it means I have to hurt you to do so. Before you could even turn around, Milo swung his bat at your legs. My legs! You could feel your bone snap as he did, and you screamed, falling to the floor. I'm sorry, my darling. He hits you again, and again. You could feel your bone shattering as he coughed up blood. I don't want to hurt you, but there's no other way. For a second, he stopped. You breathed. You heaved heavily, finally forcing air into your lungs as your body ached in pain. You were able to look up at Milo as he stared down at you, tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, my darling. He closed his eyes and... it was dark. From then on, you never left your dorm. Not as if you could have anyway. You were always in bed, and often it hurt to move. Milo would cry out next to you, apologizing over and over again for what he did. He took care of you, all of your needs, anything you wanted, he would get for you. And then, when you got better again, he would break you while crying again. A vicious cycle, over and over again. He held your hand as he sobbed loudly. I'm sorry. Even if you hate me, I can't. He lifted your hand. Milo flinched as if expecting you would hit him. Instead, you caressed his face, and after shock, he kissed your hand. You're doing wonderfully, Milo. I couldn't have asked for a better boyfriend. My legs! Even if it hurt you to move, you were content. The shape that you had molded him into. How wondrous. It was exactly the perfect love that you always wanted. That's all you wanted. A perfect house husband and... Well... We still got quite a few more endings to go through! Frick! Well, I would like you to get rid of everything, and let's skip ahead because we've already seen all that. And just like that, Milo's eyes had changed. You weren't sure, but it felt like haunting red. Ready to slaughter them all. Milo, you understand what I mean, right? I'm sure if it ever comes to that, you'll know what to do. My darling has always been so smart. That's why I will protect you from everyone in this world. If only to make sure you sleep well at night. I will snap every neck to make sure you sleep soundly through the night. You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun. And we have found Ryan. Skip ahead, and... Silence filled the air all of a sudden. Milo's hand gripped onto Ryan's face as he looked up, gripping tighter and tighter. Ryan's muffled panic, and then screams as he heard the sound of cracking. Muffled screaming, the frantic clawing of Milo's hand. You think to yourself that he will break his skull, but he suddenly lets go of him, causing Ryan to stumble backwards and fall, before Milo crushes the USB and his hand with it. Slowly, he comes to you and hugs you. My darling, did he hurt you? His words were kind, but his tone... It was as if he were going to crush you in anger as well. Don't worry. I will never let this happen again. I won't let those dirty monsters touch you. I will get rid of them all. I will protect you. His voice sounded as if he had made an oath. A promise that chained the two of you together. He lets go. And all you can see is the red in his eyes. You never saw Ryan again. They had found his body fallen at the end of a cliff. It seemed that he went hiking with some of his friends at night and never came back. Remember that night that Milo wasn't there to watch you sleep when you saw him the next day. The faint smell of metal came off of him, and slowly, just as it were. Accidents became frequent around your college. 2 people in your class had accidentally stepped on your shoe. Were found dead in a car accident only weeks later. The professor that had given you a hard time and almost failed you was found at the wrong end of town with his body torn up and his bones broken. Anyone that crossed you would suddenly be dead only moments later, and at night, you will find Milo, drenched in red, sitting, watching you, the blood on his face shining from the lights outside. These coincidences, these accidents, it became obvious that they were anything but. And slowly, the college became paranoid of who would become the next victim. The Blood-Eye Killer, they would call him, with etchings of the eye drawn in red marker. The eyes that watched you every night, the eyes of the person who protected you. The police came together, questioning the students around them, desperate to find the killer. When they had questioned you, though, it's quite frightening. I was working on a project with the first victim a while ago, so I did hear that he had pissed off a lot of people. I didn't think it would end like this. Is there someone that I find could be the killer? Why would I think of something like that? No one comes to mind when I think of it. Really, there's nothing to worry about. Whatever was left of the quiet, shy Milo was made into a killer to protect you. He would do anything to protect you, anything to keep you safe. All those bodies were simply collateral, disposable things to create the one love you deserved. Truly, this was the perfect love you wanted all along. A perfect killer and Alright, so we've got a couple more endings before we can get the true ending, so for now, let's drug him back. Wouldn't it be fun to give him a taste of his own medicine, Skip? Drugging him? I'd rather just break his legs. Oh my darling, that does sound like fun. But sometimes, it's good to be a little more smart about it. Just think of it as a study date. It'll be fun learning how to drug people. Study date? You can feel his hand warming up as he considers the date. Well then, shall we have fun on our date? Skip? Despite feeling the effects, you refuse to show weakness and stand up. You think of Ryan's face in agony and smile as Milo follows you out of your dorm. You walk with Milo to a seemingly quiet part of campus and we skip. My darling is very clever. I didn't even know you could have access to this lab. One of the professors here is very kind. They saw my interest in chemistry and let me use this lab. As if that were true, you had swiped it off another student while they weren't looking and made a copy. He hugged into you suddenly, startling you. My lover, you really are amazing. Even after being attacked day after day, you're so strong. It's only because of you, my darling, that I was able to stay strong. Waltzing into the lab, the beakers and other glass tubes stood watching us. Well then, let's get started. You think back at what it felt when you were drugged. Dizziness, a bit of drowsiness. The way he did it was so fast, and the fact that you couldn't see it in the water. Skip ahead. So that is what he drugged you with? He picks up a chair and throws it at the ground, bouncing and mocking the wall. I won't let him get away with this! I wanted to stop him, but he suddenly felt dizzy and held onto his arm. My darling, you okay? Seems the drugs still have a bit of a side effect to them. He held himself steady as Milo gently helped you stand. You should rest. No, I have to stop Ryan from doing this again. Here, take this first. You hand him some safety glasses, which he fumbles with awkwardly. I feel stupid. Really? I think you look quite nice. You wink at him, make him get flustered. Let's get this started. GHB is probably the most common one. We have the ingredients ready. Can we skip this? Can we just kidnap him with it? Knock him out with, like, BAM! Sure, if we were in a movie. In reality, it would probably just kill him. And that's a problem. Why? You're such a jester, Milo. Sadly, I still need him for the project. He helps in annoyance at your answer, but plays it cool. Maybe for fun, I'll show you how to make it in a bit. You pull out a silicone packet you had taken from the seaweed you had eaten earlier. Skip ahead. Your darling's so smart. Didn't know you had such an interest. Oh well, I've always been curious about these sort of things. Unfortunately, Ryan did use them against me. Milo growls a bit as you mention him. But now I'll use this knowledge against him. You reap what you sow, after all. You stretch out, prepared to teach Milo the ropes. Shall we? For a couple of days, you and Milo will sneak inside the labs. Can we skip this? Yes, we can. He puts his fist together as if he's ready to punch someone. Of course, I'll always be by your side, my darling. If anything happens, I won't hesitate to kill him. His voice was sharp and dangerous, as if you were sliding your finger against the blade of a knife. You didn't think you could say anything to convince him to hold back. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that then. Though, couldn't lie. You were curious to see what he would have done if you hadn't stopped him. We arrived at a bar that Ryan had invited us to skip, and Milo glares back. Ryan looks away as if annoyed. Ryan droops down closer to you and whispers, Ryan, don't you think this is too much? I mean, all this for him? Hey, it ain't too much. In fact, I'm just gonna skip this because I don't want to hear you complaining. Ryan feels Milo staring at him from behind. Never mind. When have you ever listened to me anyway? Skip ahead. You grab the edge of the glass before he can drink. Hey, what gives? I just want to add a bit of flavor. You pull out a small bag and dump into his drink. Not breaking eye contact. What the hell did you just... drug my drink in front of me? Go ahead. Drink it. Hell no! You must be crazy to think I drink that. There's no way! Barkeep, That's cute. Make it sound like you have a choice. You grab his hand tightly and stare into his eyes. Drink it. What? I know what you did, Ryan. Did you think I'm that naive? Come on. It's only fair. Shh.
You're crazy! Am I, Ryan? Weren't you the one who did it first?
He shrinks away from you and tries to leave, but Milo stops him. And where do you think you're going? Ryan looks back at you and then at him. I don't know, Ryan. You could leave now, but do you really want to? You push a drink in front of him. To our project. May we have another good semester. Shaking, he picks up his drink and drinks it. His eyes dotting, he tries to run off, but Milo stands in his way. Where do you think you're going? Out of the way! Milo lunges for him, but Ryan is able to dodge. He runs at you, shoving you onto the floor with a thud. Eyes wide, Milo runs to you as Ryan gets away. My darling! He holds onto you carefully and cradles you, before glaring in the direction that Ryan ran off to. I'm going to! He tries to lunge for him, but you grab onto his arm. Bad boy! He hesitates. But don't worry, he's learned his lesson. We'll be suspicious if we get rid of him now. Anyway, I doubt he'll ever mess with you again. Come on, Milo. Let me buy you a drink. You did such a good job. Dragging you a touch away from Ryan, you meet Milo's gaze. You wanted him to look at you. And only you. And so, college life went as normal. Can we skip this? Milo started to take up cooking, strangely enough. I'd always said he would make a good house husband. He would probably give you his food and let you taste test it. I want to be able to cook for you when we get married, he'd say, blushing. Every dish he made was more delicious than the last. They started to realize. Where are you going? Don't you remember you have classes today? Huh? Lunch? What are you talking about? It's almost dinner. Are you doing okay? Let me take you back to your dorm. You've been feeling a bit off lately. But your memory was deteriorating. Something he must have done. He was using your lessons well, wasn't he? And while Milo was concerned over you, you could feel him smiling at the results. A protective dog looking after his master. And you couldn't be happier. And so, for a while, nothing out of the blue went on. It was always just you and Milo. Weirdly enough, Milo seemed to cook for you less and less. The strange thought that you had gone before was slowly lifting. And it was infuriating to you. More affectionate he was, hugging and clinging to you. As if he was resisting it, as if he was stopping himself. How sweet, how cute, how lovely, how kind, how weak, how pathetic, how insufferable, how disgusting. So close to creating the perfect love, and yet he was backing out? Seemed to you, despite how much he had changed, the old, weak Milo was still holding himself back. How sad. It seems you haven't pushed him enough. You had to break him. Well then, there was only one thing to do. Push him to the brink. Just one final push. Yeah, I get it. We gotta push him. Really gotta push him. Can we skip this? I want to make you mine. We're going to be together forever, right? He breathed out slowly as he heard his words. Ah, poor simple Milo. Okay, we're goading him. Skipping ahead. I knew it. Should have put a higher dosage. Wouldn't you just rely on me then? So I could always take care of you? So I would be your entire world? Milo? There's nothing left for me. I only exist for you. Nobody else. Only you. Skip ahead. And okay, final 2 sets of answers. I'm just gonna overwrite my save. And let's first go for to protect me before we get rid of him, because that's probably gonna be my favorite ending. I want him to protect me, and let's skip ahead. I should have just taken you earlier. To somewhere where no one else can find you. You nearly laughed at the results that you had produced. You couldn't wait until he broke. And we found Ryan. Let's skip ahead. Forcing me to drug you, then making me drink that with Milo there. Seriously, what's wrong with you? Just leave me alone. Did everything that you asked, right? Whatever, skipping ahead, stop whining. Something loomed over Ryan as he laughed. You could feel Ryan shudder as he felt a presence behind him. The air was heavy and thick, as if every breath were seeped in poison. Milo's eyes weren't one of a human's anymore, as if it were something far more sinister. Ryan opened his mouth as if to come up with some excuse, but before he could say anything, Milo pulled out his bat, and without another word, swung it towards his legs, and the sound of bones splintering filled the air. Splintering! There was a blood-curdling scream as he grabbed his leg in agony. The sound of howling pain echoed in the air. How unfortunate for you. You notice out of the corner of your eye a shadow of people coming to see the commotion. Let's go, Milo. They're going to find us. Milo turned to the shaking Ryan, grabbing his collar. If you tell anyone about this, your skull will be the next baseball for me to hit. Throwing him onto the ground, you and Milo made your escape. After escaping from the scene, you felt Milo's gaze burning through you. I think we're far away enough. You grabbed Milo's arm, but he only stared at you, unmovingly. Why were you talking to him, my darling? It was nothing important. At least not anymore. Did you like him? It was a simple question that made you stand on end. The way you were looking at him, watching him. That's what it was, wasn't it? He growled viciously, as if imagining tearing his head off. It doesn't matter. You belong to me now. You will never go back to him. I will make sure of it. The blue in his eyes left you speechless, as if frozen by his words. And yet somehow, you felt happy beyond relief. Just as he said, Ryan seemed to have transferred schools. However, it didn't seem like Milo had let go of his anger towards him, and towards you. Yet still, he took care of you, and he was always by your side. It was strange, you thought, when he suddenly took up cooking again. He would often mutter to himself as you did your projects, and you watched him cook. You had hoped that he would be planning something exciting for you, and so he did, one seemingly normal afternoon. He gave you some cookies that he had baked earlier that day. I hope you like it. He looked at you tentatively as you ate them without thought. You should have been more careful. It felt hard to breathe when you woke up. Coughing and sputtering, you were bound to a chair as the ropes rubbed against you. You felt pain and soreness everywhere, as if someone had knocked you and kicked you as you slept. Though it was dark, your eyes were slowly adjusting. As you saw, two eyes looking back at you. My darling, you managed to say. You felt oddly dazed and tried to get closer to him, but you couldn't feel your legs. Sunlight came through the sides of the building and you finally saw his face. His eyes blue and cold, but his face slashed in blood. I hope he had a nice sleep. His voice was surprisingly gentle. It had a hint of stiffness to it, as if his voice hadn't spoken for a while. I really did want to do it more gently. As it turns out, I messed up, cutting your tendon. So I just took the whole thing. His smile was wide and unnerving, and he seemed so happy about what he had done. I'm not as good as Ryan, I know. I never will be. But that's okay. You will always be mine now. You can't run anymore. It took you a while to realize what he meant. Oh, of course. The red that was slathered on his face. The choice of words. You looked down. My legs! You couldn't touch the floor anymore. Your legs were gone. Not my legs again! What was left of them were sewn up, as if a doll. Your legs were gone. You started to breathe heavily. Everything felt as if it were crashing. Don't move. You're going to... And then you started laughing. So happy. So brilliantly happy. Milo looked surprised, not knowing what to say. Beautiful! Beautiful! You've done so well, Milo. You couldn't stop laughing. You couldn't stop smiling. Never-ending echo of pure happiness, of full insanity. This is just what I wanted, Milo. Finally, you've truly done it. You're perfect. The laughter, the final end goal fulfilled. Oh, you couldn't have been happier. Insanity, disgust maybe, others might say. But you couldn't care less.
To you, this was, without a doubt, your perfect love. A kidnapper's love ending.
Alright, we're gonna go with my favorite ending before we get the true ending for this. So yeah, let's get rid of him. And we've already seen all this, so let's skip ahead.
I'll make sure everyone has an eternal sleep.
And break their ribs so they never wake up again.
You can't help but smile happily at the results. My, this next part will be fun.
Okay, we find Ryan, whatever.
Before I could make another move, Ryan was lifted into the air by his neck. His choked out breathing, clawing as he tried to get Milo's hand off of him. The USB dropped to the floor with a clatter and Milo stepped on it, shattering it instantly. And what do we have here? Milo's grip tightened as tears grew in Ryan's eyes. I didn't know we had a rat problem. He turned to you, wanting to know if he could kill him right then and there. But you shook your head simply. It will be a mess if we don't have anything to clean up with. With a grimace and a growl, Milo threw Ryan down onto the floor with a thud. Milo kicked his stomach, causing the wind to be knocked out of Ryan. If I ever see you near my lover ever again, I will finish the job. Coughing and sputtering, Ryan crawled away to safety, crying as he did. He turned to you, clearly filled with rage. How dare this scum touch you, after all he did to you! And you even let him go. You really are too kind, my darling. He let out a sad sigh as Milo glared in Ryan's direction. Who knows what he might do next, though. I'm still afraid he might target me again. Milo hugged you suddenly, again, caressing your back. Don't worry, my darling. You're right. This world is so dangerous and filled with horrid people. But don't worry. He let go of a second, looking into your eyes. I will never let them touch you. Because you are mine. And mine alone. As his eyes looked into yours, it felt as if you could feel the heat from his burning red eyes. For a while you wonder about the whereabouts of Ryan. He seemed to have disappeared suddenly and without a trace. Milo, in the meantime, seemed to have taken up his love for cooking again. He promised you an exciting meal for your two's anniversary together. I promise it'll be something special, my darling. Something you will never forget. It was strange, though. You've never seen him so excited before. You wondered what he had in store for you. Despite you trying to look around, it seemed Milo was determined to keep it a surprise. And so, you waited. Then on your anniversary, you found him inside of your dorm. How strange, you thought. You never gave him a copy of your key. With his apron and candle lit lighting, he eagerly waited for you to sit down. Sorry it took so long. It was hard to find the ingredients for this recipe. Hope you enjoy it. He said it normally as if nothing was strange, but his eyes were still filled with red, as if he were waiting for something. As you both sat down, you looked at the soup that lay before you. It was red and thick, and the smell was something indescribable. Dipping a spoon into the pot, he gestured for you to open your mouth, and fed you as it went on. This is really tasty, my darling. It will make a great house husband. His face reddened at the compliment, and looked away shyly. I was afraid you might not like it, but I shouldn't have been. After all, you're perfect. I could make more if you'd like, though maybe not this specific dish. And why is that, my darling? It has a very rare ingredient in it. I don't think I could get it again. He looked at you with enthusiasm. But don't worry, I can make you plenty of other dishes. Just as amazing as the next. As he smiled, you saw something move inside the soup. It looked at you, as if it were afraid. It took you a second, but you recognized the color of it. Ryan's eye. And another, inside the spoon that Milo was trying to feed you. A pause. Milo seemed to shrink away for a second. Sorry, is something... No, Milo. Nothing's wrong. You couldn't help but smile as he took a bite. Of course, I have no doubt, my darling. I can't wait until until you cook your next rare meal. How tasty. You really have finally made it. Such a wonderful flavor he was. Your perfect love. Your cannibal's love end. Okay, once you have unlocked all of the endings, alright? What you want to do to get the true ending is start a new game, okay? And, okay, we're just gonna skip all of this, okay? Our name doesn't matter, okay? Our pronoun choices barely matters. What does matter is about your pet name. You're supposed to name yourself Love. My love. Oh, my love? That's really cute. It always makes me so happy when you give me a nickname. Okay, now, you'll know if you triggered the true ending. If you try to exit, I'm gonna try exiting the game now. You can't leave. You can't leave. You love me, right? I won't. Oh my god, what the hell happened? Jesus, I won't leave. Okay. Makes me so happy when you give me a nickname. Okay, we're just gonna skip ahead. I can't skip. Always? You shift your body slightly. Something was off. What do you mean? Always. Love is a nice nickname, right? To be your perfect love? You stand closer to him, inches away from his face. I have never told anyone about my desire for a perfect love. Okay. Milo laughs nervously. Oh well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. To be honest, you weren't the type to get scared all that easily. Horror movies, true crime, even possibly watching someone die beneath you was something quite dull. But something about this made your blood run cold. You were met with eyes floating, attached onto Milo. They were looking around, watching, staring at you. He seemed to have a hard time focusing on you. Or what you presume that was what he was doing. Whatever he was, it felt unstable. Felt like something was touching under your skin, grabbing your neck, arms, everything around it. Somehow you knew, if you even moved an inch, you would be no more. You grit your teeth. You're not my Milo! A hideous laugh echoed throughout the world. Oh, my love, you're so clever. I love that about you. You're right, I'm not your Milo. I'm your perfect love. You could feel your body heating up, screaming in terror. You wish you could reach inside of yourself and tear out this feeling. So you mustered what hatred you had to ask. Tell me, Milo, what makes you think you become my perfect love? Because you were the one who taught me. The one who can talk his way out of any situation, just for my love. The one who will protect you, no matter the cost. Perhaps you don't remember, but I do. And I'm so happy. So very happy. I just wanted to make you happy. Because you deserve it. If my existence could mean anything in this world, wouldn't I only want you? You made me. Exactly the kind of person that I needed to be. What was this? It looked so familiar, and yet you couldn't remember this at all. I was always yours, my love. Every single part of me, I devoted it all. I protected every part of you. I would never let you get hurt. You didn't remember any of this, and yet all of it was too familiar to have been forgotten. I'm so happy. I became everything you wanted. Every time you accepted me, I could feel my soul filled. Every time you trained me, I couldn't have been happier. I was nothing before, but now I'm everything to you. Isn't this what you wanted?
This is the Milo you've always wanted. You push Milo onto the floor, pinning him down. Hey, yo! Those invisible threads holding back felt like it was torn from your skin, but you didn't care. This perfect love was right in front of you. And you couldn't let someone like this go. His face spazzed out in motions as he tried to comprehend what was going on. Do you want me that badly? Do you care about me just as much as I care about you? Because I'm so happy you came back to me over and over again to morph me into anything that you wish. His appearance changed suddenly. Reminded you of a cat, sly and cunning. Anything that would make you happy. Even if the little part of me that was left was utterly crushed under your foot. But still not enough, is it? No matter what. Another appearance changed. Now like a dog, loyal and ruthless. I want you to tear me apart over and over again. Reshape me to exactly what you want. I want to be everything you want me to be. So please, just do this for me. I want you to destroy everything so that we can finally be together. Destroy everything. The entire world, crushed into nothingness. Just the two of us. Milo smiled gently. I just want this last thing for us. I'm not normally this selfish, but if you care about me, even a little, please, destroy everything. So that we can be forever stuck in a loop together. So that nobody can see our perfect love. Trapped together. Nothing saved. Destroyed. Please. He was broken beyond repair. He only had you left. How wonderful. This was exactly what you wanted, right? A corrosive and suffocating love. But then again, maybe it still wasn't enough. Just one more push. So you decided. Give him everything. It was everything you had ever wanted. You didn't have to go through the hassle of training a new pet. Who were you to deny such a perfect specimen? And if you didn't like the way the other versions of you made him, you can just remake him as you pleased. Oh, Milo, you're so cute. And how could I say no to a face like that? Though, I am curious. You caress his face slowly, looking deep into his eyes. Just what did the other versions of me do to you? I want to know if they really are anything like me. Milo seems to go quiet. Did you kill for them, Milo? Did you break their limbs? His figure spasms, the cruel and delinquent-looking Milo. Did we brand a love together? Did you crawl within my walls to win my affection? His figure spasms once more, the more sly-looking Milo. There was something quite thrilling about knowing that you succeeded over and over again. How wonderful. It really did seem like we shaped you the way we wanted. Exactly as we had planned from the start. Milo's form wavered at your comment. From start, my love? What do you mean? You stare at him for a while, dumbfounded. And then, you smile. All around him, you surrounded him, reaching out to him, clawing their way towards him.
Another of you grabbed him before he could move, a sharp smile holding him as he struggled. No matter what, he could never escape from you. The real you. The yous from all the times that you had broken him. Smiling, taunting him, laughing. You really don't know it all, do you, Milo? Despite all those memories, all these lives, you still can't fathom who I really am, huh? It's disappointing. Oh, Milo. That's okay, my love. I'm a kind person. I won't leave your side. We'll do this again and again. I'll get Ryan to bully you so you'll meet me. We'll train so that you can be your perfect self. And if that's not enough, we'll do it all over again. We'll simply break you, over and over again, until you understand who we really are. Milo's figure was panicking now, trying desperately to escape the use that bound him, the sweat dripping down his face. Don't worry, we'll make your dream come true. Let's just be trapped here together, forever. Wait! What are you doing? I just wanted to make you happy! I give you everything, so why is it that you... Please! Please! He was begging silently, but the hands were grabbing at him more and more, drowning him. He stroked his head gently, before grabbing his face. Don't worry, Milo. You'll be glad to see me soon. No! You could see the cracks in his face as he crushed his head. Shh! Don't say anything, Milo. He's trying to keep his form together, but it's futile. He smiled. Good night, my love. I'll see you soon. It crashes. Oh no! Okay, so the game completely resets. You need to actually unlock all the endings all over again to get to this ending. And now we are going to take everything. You should be happy, shouldn't you? The perfect love you've always wanted, right in front of you. Completely and totally for the taking. It's everything you've ever wanted, right? Right? And yet, it greatly irritated you. You didn't even have the chance to train him, to mold him into exactly what you wanted. Even if he was the result of other versions of you training him, you never had the pleasure to. You would never be given the chance to make him just as you pleased. And that in itself was simply, completely unacceptable. Milo looked flustered, but overjoyed. Oh my, so aggressive. You're mine now. Forever and always then, right? Milo, let me ask you. Why do you think we met in the first place, He laughed giddily. That's easy. It was destiny, wasn't it? Oh, Milo, you're so... naive. Did you really think that this was all by chance? I made all of this happen. From the moment you locked eyes on me, it was all over, Milo. The reason why Ryan tortured you all so much was because of me. What? You could see his pupils trembling as he clutched onto his head. No, that can't be true! My love wouldn't do that! Oh, Milo, that's exactly what I would do. He couldn't stop it now, the tears streaming down his face. It's a shame you're such a liar, declaring me as your perfect love. As if you could ever have been. Why? Why would you do that? Why did you torture me like that? His body, his face, it's all breaking apart. His will, his love, his agony, all spilling out. Brian was... He almost made me want to end it all. And then you... No, I can't believe any of this. It was disgusting. It was unsettling. It was wonderful. Why would you do this? My love, my everything. Why? The answer is simple, of course, and something you should already know. I will do anything to get my perfect love. And that's why you let me end it all. Let's start from the beginning then, my love. He was struggling not to break under your words, your grip, trying to keep himself whole, to be all just one for you. With all the reddish ooze coming out of him, he was trying to keep it together. But you wouldn't let him. Just break for me, Milo. Don't you think it's the least you can do? For someone as useless as you? It was hard to hear him as he jumbled his words. No! No, I don't want it! I'm your perfect love! Everything I do is for you! Oh, I know, dear Milo. That's why you'll break for me. You couldn't see his mouth anymore. It was like watching a statue crumble before your eyes. His voice became smaller and smaller. No, Ian, please, I don't want to. Please, don't make me go back to that life. I just want to be with you. Just, please, Bye, Milo. I'll see you again soon. God damn, that was rough. Holy frick. Anyway, that was Perfect Love. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. So, I kind of want to call that a build your own yandere simulator. Like, what in the world was that? Jesus Christ. You had, like, every single flavor of yandere there is out there. And you know what? It was stupid fun. It was just stupid fun. I could see why this was like highly like this was one of the highest played like yandere visual novels of 2 separate game jams actually. And yeah, I can see why. This was stupid fun. And God, we have been here for over 3 hours. So hey, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.